apply. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Am I on? Oh, hey there.
You are, you psycho.
All right. Good thing I am prepared for this, which I am.
Just full of sugar is what you are.
I had a chai today, yeah. If you're tired a little bit, raise your hand. I don't know why.
Go into the show.
Hi.
Then we'll talk about
Are you
that.
allergic to doing the task at hand?
Because it sounds like it.
Yeah. So huge guest. Brad actually was promoting this yesterday in the promo leading up to today too.
Off the air.
Yeah, off the air. He was telling us in the office
Yeah.
how excited he was. Actually, that is kind of true.
No, but for sure it's true.
But he actually read the promo. If you heard the Annie Frey Show promo today, it is talking about Harris Faulkner.
You said it right the first time?
No, I'm correcting myself because there is an L in that name.
Ah!
Author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Faith Still Moves Mountains. If you heard her on the show last time, she is, and I personally do not use this word often because it is not part of my normal vocabulary. She is a gem. She just seems like a wonderful person to be around.
I would love to just be in her presence
Yeah.
off the air and just talk to Harris.
And just
But
like
we're gonna talk to her on the air.
bask
for you.
in the goodness that she seems to like portray.
You should answer that question. Can we just hang out sometime?
Yeah, yeah, do that on the air.
It would be totally not creepy. I am going to ask her about two stories. The first one is we talked yesterday with Mark Lauder about the Tim Scott stuff. We talked on the air a lot about the Tim Scott on The View. It's wild. It's crazy. Harris definitely has an opinion on it. We can't wait to speak with her about that. But also, I want to ask Harris Faulkner, while she's covering these boycotts and she's talking to people and all sorts of different experts, I want to ask Harris if she thinks that boycotts translate to votes or if it's just a culture thing.
It's so interesting hearing her on Fox versus just talking to her on the radio because she seems like so relaxed on the radio. Because some people, when you ask them a question, they're like, boom, and she's like, oh, I know. And then she's like, it's like she's just talking to you, like hanging out. Anyway, so Jim Carafano also right before Harris Faulkner at 1:07, so the whole 1 o'clock hour is going to be pretty packed. The poll today, we talked about this yesterday, and we really genuinely want to know what this audience thinks about this question because we don't know, and all of us have opinions about what we think is going to happen today. We need your votes. Which phone do you use, Apple or Android? And then, of course, in the comments, let us know why, whether it was just perchance or whether you chose one in particular. I have a long and storied history with this topic, and I look forward to sharing that. Aside from that, that is most of the show. We are going to talk about a number of topics, of course, with Jim Carafano and Harris Faulkner, and throughout the rest of the show hit a bunch of other stuff that I haven't confirmed with Brad, but the Comer
Ryan's
stuff.
out of information.
No.
Yeah, you can tell them about Wiggins America segment too.
Oh, I probably should. Yeah, I know about that. At 12:45, a look at the treatment of first ladies, the last few first ladies, and maybe the next first lady as well. How is the media covering these people? Because coincidentally, I found out in studying this a little bit that Friday was National First Ladies Day.
So don't do all of Wiggins America in the pre-show. Say some for the Wiggins America segment.
I haven't given you anything.
That's a great.
Sheepdog has
Trust
a
me.
comment.
Ryan, should use the word gem every day to describe Annie. I don't know. Annie, what do you think? Should I do that?
But it should be from a place of genuine, heartfelt appreciation.
How about the first thing I say every day is, oh my gosh, what a gem you are. Like, genuinely.
Yeah.
That would make you super
On
comfortable.
air and off air.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Okay.
Thanks, Sheepdog.
I will do that.
All right, you're done.
All right. Yay.
You good?
Double your money with apartments and get your map to financial freedom. And that map starts with a free workshop. Sign up now at lifestylesunlimited.com. Click on the Join Free Workshop tab and attend online or in person. That's lifestylesunlimited.com. Lifestylesunlimited.com. Again, that's lifestylesunlimited.com. Limited seating, unlimited potential.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
There are over 10,000 reasons why steel is not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot. Find tools for the job site or your own backyard at over 10,000 authorized local steel dealers. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and the Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Refresh, restore, and protect your investment. Call Zero Res to clean your business the right way so your floors and surfaces stay cleaner longer without the harmful chemicals the other guys use. Call 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Ask for the Mark Reardon Special.
This hour of the Annie Fry Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You know how we go through elections and then nothing changes? It's because more and more government has been set up to permanently run. It just runs in perpetuity, and the Democrats have done that on purpose. You know, 75% of our budget, mandatory programmatic spending. It's not just Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. There are hundreds of other programs that are out there, and through non-government organizations. Look who's running the border. Look who's taking care of the unaccompanied minors. They're handing it over to these NGOs. So you have some trillions of dollars that the Democrats, trillions, literally, and we name the names, we show the flow of money. That's who these puppeteers are. They control what's really going on in this country.
Clearly, when the president.
So you're listening to Jason Chaffetz there. Jason Chaffetz is going to be on with us on Wednesday at 1:25 p.m. to talk to us about this very issue. No, I take that back. Jason Chaffetz is going to be on with us Wednesday at 1:05 p.m. And we're going to talk about his new book, The Puppeteers. And I can't wait to hear what he has to say about it, because is what he's saying really a much larger umbrella issue for what we are experiencing right now as very concerned voters? Brad, how much, if you listen to what Donald Trump says, he's being criticized. Well, I mean, the idea of a Trump presidency reelection is people are criticizing because he'd only get 4 years. It's it's a valid concern.
Yeah.
He said he needs 6 months and he could make a drastic difference. He keeps saying, I only need 6 months.
Man,
he could probably change a lot in 6 months.
He could change a lot in 6 months. I don't know if he could fix it in 6 months, though.
He's got to get there.
Yeah.
8 years, does that make a big difference? What you hear Jason Chaffetz talking about there, and this is really something that we need to be thinking deeply about, is the steady flow with which the swamp swamps. It just keeps going. And the same problems that we have encountered in 2015 and 2016 leading into Donald Trump's presidency, which wasn't ever supposed to happen, the same things and efforts that were made to keep Donald Trump out of office, there's no retribution for that whatsoever. None of it. Brad, we've heard the Mueller report, the Durham report. We've heard all of this. And pretty much the evidence that has come out of all of that, of wrongdoing, is that people in high places of political power and bureaucrats that supported them tried to make America believe something that wasn't true to affect the outcome of the election.
Yes.
And it wasn't Donald Trump.
No. It's incredibly frustrating because, I mean, that was the vast majority of Donald Trump's presidency was this cloud of he colluded with Russians.
It was an accepted fact.
There were politicians, i.e. Adam Schiff, saying, wait until you've seen what I've seen, which we saw what he saw and there was nothing there.
He's got the endorsement of the entire California delegation to take Senator Feinstein's Senate seat. He's going to get promoted.
And I know that there are a lot of people out there that are like, we can't stand Trump because he's a liar. Adam Schiff lied to the American public for 3.5, 4 years. Just lied and lied and lied and lied and lied and consistently lies and continues to lie to this day because his latest appearances on any shows, he's still saying, no, there was something there. Even though Durham said there was nothing there, Mueller said there was nothing there, every other investigation said there was nothing there. As a matter of fact, Durham said that this was all bupkis. It was all lies. It was all built on lies. You had the mainstream media touting this. You had former intel officials saying this is all not true, or this is all true and it's there, and drip, 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 the walls are closing in.
Everything that was put out there for the American people to panic about so that they could make sure that it was clear that Hillary Clinton was always supposed to have won. She wrote a book called What Happened.
Yeah.
And then she said it was Russia. And she said, and then she blamed James Comey in the midst of all of that, which is hilarious because James Comey just said last week that Joe Biden's the only guy who can keep the train on the tracks. Joe Biden doesn't even know where the train is. So we've listened and listened and listened to the way that they have disparaged this man, Donald Trump. And they've made him a pariah in Washington, D.C., which is one of the main reasons why many people want him to be the guy who just needs 6 months to go in there and become the president of the United States and pull all the weeds out of the swamp. Clean it up. Make it bright and sparkly. James Comer is now leading this House Oversight Committee. And he is working to make sure that this FBI document, we talked last week with Mike Davis, we talked last week with Hans von Spakovsky, about this FBI document, this, I can't remember what the number is. It's it's FBI 1223 or something like that, or 1203 or something similar to that. I probably just cited some wild document. It's not even true. Like, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. Not about that, I don't. But this document that shows that there was a report made about a bribe, $5 billion bribe that Joe Biden took in order to affect policy that had to do with China. Well, there's a document that people are talking about exposing here that's been seen, that needs to be seen, and it's been subpoenaed, and I'd kind of like to know what's in it. Maybe it gets shown, maybe we find out what's in this in whole, and then we go, it's a nothing burger. But boy, Donald Trump is not the president today because of what they did to him leading into the 2016 election. And we're able to string out, because the complicit media, folks, do not ever let the media off the hook. They're the worst of them. The ones who choose to crawl in bed so that with the people who need to push these types of narratives, the James Comeys, the Hillary Clintons, the Adam Schiffs, they all incestuously need each other to continue to exist in the capacity of depravity that they exist in, that they thrive in this just disgusting world that prioritizes them over the American people. You are not even an afterthought. To suggest that you are an afterthought is to suggest that you've been thought of at all. James Comer is talking about this, and he's pushing the issue.
This document was dated, I think you all know this, from the subpoena in July 30th, 2020. The claims made in the document are consistent with what we found and disclosed to you all in Romania. It suggests a pattern of bribery where payments would be made through shell accounts and multiple banks. There's a term for that. It's called money laundering. And that, again, is what the majority of the suspicious activity reports also said. So we feel that this accusation is consistent with a pattern that we're seeing, frankly, in other countries too.
There's a lot of smoke, so much smoke that I don't know that we can for sure see the fire, the source of the smoke quite yet, but there's quite a lot. And we're talking about actual documents that remember when Adam Schiff was like, just wait until you find out. Just wait. Well, freaking tell us already. Show us what you got. Give us the goods. If it's for the best for the American people and for the country as a whole, lay it out there and let's get to the bottom of it and let's get to it right now as Americans. Looks like James Comer is trying to do that, trying to show this so that the American people can see what he's talking about. And for some reason, the FBI is not playing ball.
At the briefing, the FBI again refused to hand over the unclassified record to the custody of the House Oversight Committee. And we will now initiate contempt of Congress hearings this Thursday. Given the severity and complexity of the allegations contained within this record, Congress must investigate further. Americans have lost trust in the FBI's ability to enforce the law impartially and demand answers, transparency, and accountability. The investigation is not dead. This is only the beginning.
You listen to him talking about this only being the beginning. I am highly skeptical that this is going to go anywhere. I am highly skeptical that they're going to be able to muddle through this and expose something that sounds as big as what it could be. I'm not going to bite a hold of that hook and get strung all over the lake waiting for it to get reeled in, and it never happens. I'm not doing it. But I am watching so many situations against Donald Trump, politically motivated by yahoos that are in Congress because they come from states that would never send anybody different. I mean, to honestly look at Adam Schiff and be like, he should be in the Senate. Oh, Lord have mercy. He probably will be in the Senate. To understand that that's the path that this country sends its legislators on, you have to know that there is just some BS that's going to be taking place on a regular basis as part of the swamp. The swamp's going to swamp. Go back to what Jason Chaffetz said at the beginning of this segment. There is an element of the way our government works and functions to sustain itself. It's kind of funny. We just saw that, what was it, the Air Force sent out that drone, and they're like, your mission is to get target A, B, and C. I'm simplifying. And then the drone operator goes, oh, scratch that. C, we're not going after target C. And the drone goes, you're impeding the mission. I kill you. That's not good. That makes the drone more powerful than the human operating it. Same thing with the government.
Mm-hmm.
When you have somebody come in and say, you know what? No, I don't care if this is business as usual. I know that the mission was set out for A, B, and C, but we can't do C. We got to change, and we got to be flexible enough on the behalf of the American people that we're going to not take out C. And the government goes, oh no, I kill you. You can't do that, but that's the way the swamp works. And then disingenuous people want to look at Adam Schiff and go, man, he did a lot of good work. You look at the people who are constantly pointing back to the efforts that were made. I mean, good grief. Just listen to Hillary Clinton, man. She's got it bad. Over and over and over again, talking about the success of the Mueller report. They got a bunch of people on stuff that never had anything to do with the Russia collusion, the actual allegation that was the business of the American people to make sure that you knew that people weren't working with foreign governments to try to steal the value and the importance of your vote. That's what they accused Donald Trump of. That is treason. If Donald Trump were guilty of what the whole freaking purpose was, it would be treasonous. And I'm here to tell you, if he were guilty of that, I'd be first in line saying, enough, get rid of him. I don't ever want to see him again, because I care the most about this country. Way more than I care about any man or woman who will ever be in a position to represent the American people, because the American people are still supreme for now. They want to work and constantly try to tick on the scoreboard, saying that if you get this person or if you get that person, that somehow or another, that proves the ultimate point. Well, that's because they don't care about the country. They care about their political scoreboard. There are people on the left, there are people on the right who only care about the political scoreboard. And going back to what Jason Chaffetz says, you will forever have a country that continues to maintain and operate itself the way that it continues to operate itself right now. Nothing will ever change. You're never going to find the man or the woman who's going to go sit in the Oval Office and make a difference if the swamp continues to be able to operate the way it does. And people with little lives and small hobbies will continue to talk about their political heads that they have on stakes because they got this Democrat or that Republican arrested, and they get really worked up and excited about it. But that is never pays off with satisfaction because there's always another head you got to get. There always is. If that's the case, then you're only advocating for yourself and for your own personal victory, not for the country. And Americans around the world right now who are looking at what China is doing, what Russia is doing, what Ukraine is doing, what North Korea is doing, what people in Africa are doing. No one's talking about Africa. There's a lot of stuff going on in Africa right now that really should have the attention of the American people because it's pretty tense. What is the president doing? He's taking weekends off and he schedules appointments from noon to 4. Kind of sounds like my schedule.
Come on now.
I said that. I was like, who works those hours? Oh. Guess what? I'm not running the free world yet. Just kidding. We're all serious enough here to understand that the way this train is headed down the tracks is not headed in a right direction. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that whole scene in Back to the Future 3. The train is just chugging down the tracks and they're throwing the multicolored dynamite or whatever it is. What is that? Is that dynamite?
It was
probably not dynamite.
It was like a boost for the train engine.
Turbo.
Yeah.
Dynamite, technically speaking. And then it would go, and then the train would go even faster. And Marty McFly was hanging off the side, and you're like, it's going to go over the ravine. It's a terrible, terrible thing. And then we get a Republican elected to the presidency. And guess what? That is not going to be enough to finish the bridge and mend the time gap like it happens in the third Back to the Future, because you are the entity that has to fix this country. It's nobody who you're going to elect. I don't care if you're Team Trump. I don't care if you're Team DeSantis. I don't care if you're Team Biden or if you're Team Newsom or if you're Team RFK Jr. None of those people are going to be the hero savior of this country. It's going to have to be you. And we got to care less about the next head that we get for our side of the aisle. And we got to start talking to people about real issues that matter and cut through the mess. The swamp relies on you hating your neighbor. The swamp relies on the small-minded people who think that if you voted for Donald Trump, that somehow or another you're a domestic terrorist. Those are small-minded people. Those are folks who are not capable of processing information because their hate in their heart has overtaken any sensibility that they have. And I'm going to tell you people who are on the other side of the aisle who think it's Trump or nobody. He's not your savior. He can help the country, but he's not your savior. No politician ever is. It starts with you. Find people who you can talk to one-on-one and have meaningful conversations with them. And then you will be a part of bringing this country back to its original origins. We're going to take a quick break. Apropos of nothing, the YouTube live chat poll today. Which phone do you use, Apple or Android? We had a conversation about this yesterday, and we need to know how the Annie Frey Show audience out there is connecting with us, on your mobile phones. Maybe you're watching us on the YouTube live stream. You've downloaded the Odyssey app and followed 97.1 FM Talk. Are you doing that on your Apple phone or your Android phone? We want to know. So go to the YouTube live chat poll, vote, leave us a comment if you so choose. We'll be back in a minute. Don't go away.
I believe it's
This is the Annie Frey Show.
half-empty glass.
Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
I wake up knowing it could be my last. I ain't here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. So bring on the...
When you are looking to build a home on the Illinois side of the river, Find C.A. Jones. You've seen C.A. Jones homes all over the Metro East. They build in a lot of different communities. They invest in the communities they build in as well. And let me tell you this, C.A. Jones gives back to those communities that they're building in. They are very proud to support and to serve military and first responders. They offer veterans, active duty first responders, specials on new homes, solar, and remodels. cajonesinc.com/specials. They're offering specials for new builds and first-time home buyers right now. So check out cajonesinc.com, add the /specials if you want to learn more about what they are doing for people maybe exactly like you. They provide a 10-year builder limited warranty that includes a lifetime waterproof basement warranty, and they also have the largest inventory of new construction homes on their website right now. So if you go to cajonesinc.com, you're going to be able to peruse some of the houses that are available, brand new, never lived in by anyone else, could be owned by you. Go online right now to cajonesinc.com.
Back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the Plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerbergs.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-924-7415. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415. 800-924-7415.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here, which means you've made at least one great decision today. St. Louis is home for conservative talk. This is 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're happy you're with us. The YouTube live chat poll today, which phone do you use, Apple or Android? You can go onto the Annie Frey YouTube channel and vote and support your team. I suspected early on that Apple users would be compelled to represent their Appleness in a poll.
I don't know. I have found that there's just a hardcore Samsung base. Apple's base is crazy, but there's an equally crazy base with Samsung.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
By whom?
Samsung people that seem particularly jilted at Apple. Like, their motivation for supporting Samsung seems to come from their disgust for Apple.
As a Samsung user, maybe I'm too deep inside the cult, but I have literally never heard anybody aggressively defend Samsung. I mean, because there's like Google Pixel, there's a bunch of different Android phones that are good for very different purposes. I've never heard. Are you just telling me right now that I'm one of those people?
No, I don't think you are. Just like I don't think I'm one of the Apple fanboys.
You're not. You're not a traditional fanboy. But we did get a fanboy in here. Hi, Ryan.
Oh, thanks. Thank you for that.
I must be an Android microphone. It didn't work for you.
That's what I was going to say, but I wouldn't stoop that low.
I'm glad you brought your iPhone voice in here.
I want to say, for the record,
yeah,
I originally was an Android user for quite a while.
Why'd you switch?
I find the iPhone to be superior.
Okay.
The Android phones that I've had, now keep in mind, I wasn't buying state-of-the-art phones. No surprise there, right? I'm a little behind on technology a lot of times. But I was buying decent phones. They just didn't seem to last as long as the iPhone, although all of them don't last long enough for me. I would love to see, like, they all end up obsolete way before.
How long do you want a phone to last?
I would like a phone to last roughly 10 years, but I'll settle for 5. And they don't, nothing seems to last 5 years because the software updates, they get to the point where like, yeah, we're not even going to update your phone anymore.
Yeah, but the technology in that amount of time grows so rapidly that you can't hold progress for technology back so that obsolete users are serviced more than advancing the technology.
So you know why that
when I say obsolete users, I mean cheapskates.
Hey, but if the phone still works, it just gets to the point where it won't. It doesn't have the support anymore.
I had my last phone for over 3 years, and when I buy my phone, I buy it outright. I don't finance it over the course of time. So it's a punch in the gut at one time, but then it makes me more likely to use it as long as I possibly can. So I had my last Samsung Galaxy, which is just the best phone ever. I just think everybody should understand how wonderful Samsung is.
Have you used iPhones, though?
No.
So you've only tried one. See, that's where I would say that my experience is superior in that I have had multiple types of phones and chosen one over the other. Thank you for that look.
Just because you used multiple things doesn't mean that it's inherently better.
Well, I've tried, is what I'm saying. I've tested the market. And
sometimes
I've come to
it takes
conclusion.
people longer to get the right answer. What are you going to say?
Well, I'm a little upset because Ryan has used both. I've never used anything but an iPhone.
Why do you use an iPhone?
Well,
is it just what was you? Is it? It just happened and
it kind of just happened. But I also had an iMac at the time. Or a MacBook, I should say, and the integration, it was just easier to integrate my iPhone with my MacBook.
But you don't use that anymore.
But I don't use that anymore. And as a matter of fact, I had a MacBook, I had an Apple iPad, and I also had.
Why did you use all that Apple stuff?
Because it just worked better together. Well, when I had my,
you have to make the decision to say I'm going Apple.
Yeah,
because Apple says. Are you sure about this?
Because
this
it was
a commitment.
It was 100% an integration issue because at the church that I was working at the time, the church was very Apple centric. They had Apple computers, Macs, and all that other stuff. So whenever I got my laptop, I'm going to get one of those so that whenever they send me a Pages document, I can open it.
Yeah.
And I don't have to worry about that. And then I could just get Word for Mac or whatever.
Balls just messaged a show page and said Apple is absolute trash.
Yeah. Well,
let's stop fighting words.
Yeah. I don't think it is.
I'll text you in a bubble.
I'm going to be
Green
honest.
bubble.
I don't really know which one is superior anymore. I think it's just a comfort level thing. But I tried using an Android tablet for preaching and stuff like that, and I just couldn't get the hang of it because I'd been using Apple for so long. And I was like, I'm not ready to.
I do have a Samsung tablet, and it's the exact same thing as this. So it's just, what are you in?
Mm-hmm.
I really love the phone camera.
Yeah, that's an amazing camera.
As a mom, having the camera on the go all the time, I think that the camera is better on the Samsung Galaxy phone. But I also think I've seen people say that the Google Pixel is better than the. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I just know that this has worked for me, and I don't want to. I don't want to. And I've said this before. I use a MacBook Pro, and I love it, and I would not go to a PC. I don't like using PCs. But I don't.
It's a reverse.
Yeah,
I'm the reverse of you too.
I don't know that there are many people who are doing what I'm doing.
I'm doing the exact opposite.
Here's the funny thing: people go, Annie, I'm surprised that you don't use an iPhone, and I'm always like, let's sit down and talk about what that means.
Is iPhone supposed to be cooler? Is that what they're saying?
It sounds to me like they're saying, in essence, I thought you were better than that.
No, I agree. I agree. That is what they're saying.
Hey, I like my phone and made a choice. I think that the idea is that if you are an iPhone user, you are more technologically aware and advanced than an Android user. But I'm here to what?
I think that perception is out there.
But I don't think that's true at all.
It is not true.
We had a conversation with somebody who we work with here. It was maybe it was a year ago. But we talked about it, and I believe it, that you could divide Android users and Apple users on party lines. That there would be a vast majority of one party. You'd have both using both, but that you'd see a pretty stark delineation between Apple users would go one way heavily and Android users would go the other way heavily.
Can I tarry a guess at which one you're saying?
I don't know why
it
we're
would be?
speaking like we're in the Middle Ages, but tarry away.
Okay. I will curry a guess. I don't know if any of these words actually apply to these sentences.
It's never stopped you before.
You're right.
Yeah.
So I will proceed. Then I will commence.
I'm getting dumb.
I'm going to guess.
Can you use your iPhone
that
voice
the
when
party,
you talk about this?
No. The party line cut would be that conservatives use Android and liberals use iPhones. Am I right?
I would say that the majority of Android users are right-leaning. The majority of Apple users are left-leaning, which I think is what you just said. But I don't think that if you're a conservative, you use Android, or if you're a liberal, you use Apple. But if you surveyed 1,000 people,
which is what we're trying to do today.
1,000, yes, 1,000. I'm gonna send you out in the street and be like, will you just please press here on your
here?
What kind of phone do you
have?
have?
Let me create an account for you first.
That if you had 1,000 Android users and 1,000 Apple users, so now I'm up to 2,000. That it would lean right on the Android use, lean left on the Apple.
I have a theory as to why that would be too. Because in doing video production coming up through that world, very few people outside of local TV, we used PCs. But outside of that, most people in the arts are using Apple products because they were ahead of the game. They were ahead of the curve on those things.
What about I think that's a good, because that is honestly why I use a MacBook Pro. Because before I was Annie Frey Show middays on 97.1 FM Talk, I was the digital brand manager for 97.1 for about 10 years. And I did graphic design because I managed the digital brand of the station and I supported the clients that I worked with a lot of graphic design stuff. So I was doing creative things in MacBook. I was a convert. When I was first there, it was, here's your PC. And I was like, great, wonderful. That computer was crapping out. And they're like, we're getting you a MacBook. I'm like, I don't want a MacBook. I don't understand it. Don't want to use it. Won't go back. What about, though, the status symbol of being having the iPhone in your hand versus a non-iPhone? Anything else?
I don't have the iPhone in my hand when I hold it up. my case blocks the Apple logo.
But you still have an iPhone.
But I have an iPhone.
You're missing the point.
I don't look for it for the status symbol.
No, Brad. I'm not asking about you using your phone for a status symbol.
But he's speaking from the richness of his experience.
Brad is the least likely to be like, let me show you my things so you can know how important I am.
But I was sitting
That was my Android voice.
Yeah. I was sitting here
you.
thinking about what you were saying
We'll
about
do an interview to each other later as iPhone and Android.
about the political leans. I think that political slant is a lot more exaggerated on the Apple side than it is on the Samsung side.
I would agree.
I would
Not
think
Samsung, Android.
Oh,
you're
Android.
You're real wrapped up in the Samsung thing.
Well,
I think Samsung hurt you.
No, it's because Samsung is the one, that's the company that is competing. They're using the Android operating system, but they're the ones that are competing and trying to push Apple out of the market. And they're the only, Google
It's
Pixel.
not personal. It's just business.
No, but Google Pixel doesn't have the market share to do it. Neither does
Google Pixel's a pretty big deal.
Neither does like the Razors and the Motorola's and all those other companies out there that make Android phones.
Hello, Moto.
But
Hi, Moto.
But
Hello.
I as far as those go, I think that there might be a conservative slant, but I just don't think it's that very much big with Android users versus Apple users. I think the slant is going to be a lot bigger to the
Ryan, you're obsessed with your status.
Yeah. My status
Honestly,
speaks for itself. I don't need a phone to say that.
No, that's not true because you walk around the building all the time with the phone up to your head and you're not even on it. You just want people to see
no,
that
I don't need the
I am
phone.
one of these iPhone people.
I've converted over to Bluetooth now, so I can just walk around, press a button. I'll just be talking, and people think I'm talking to them. I'm not. I'm talking to somebody else. Somebody far away, probably in L.A.
I can't wait to see how this poll shakes out.
Full of it.
This is all anecdotal and there's no science behind it, but who cares about science these days anyway? So we will publish this. Let's publish it. Let's publish the results of this poll.
I really don't think the status symbol thing is as much of a thing today as it was 5-10 years ago.
I think it is.
The iPhone thing? No, I don't think so.
I don't think it's as much. I don't think the application of acquiring the iPhone elevates your status as much as the implication that the absence of the iPhone diminishes your status.
You're saying the Android phone indicates that you don't have status, not that the iPhone indicates that you do.
When people say to me, Annie, I'm surprised that you don't have an iPhone.
I see. I see.
I feel the attack coming my way.
Yeah.
I also don't care.
It's like a wealth thing almost.
But they're the same price.
You're right, but people look at it like, oh, you got an iPhone. Oh, you got an Android. You must be a poor.
I don't know. I think everybody knows how much these
now
things
that I'm
cost
thinking
now.
about it, there is a lot of disgust.
Ryan,
about
I
that.
think we've scratched the surface, maybe touched a nerve with Brad here.
I do too.
Maybe we should talk about it some more.
Maybe we should
There's some
keep
things
kind
we
of
need
poking.
to
See what happens.
There's some things that we need to get out in the open. I'm not sure what they are yet.
Well, that's the idea. That's what a therapy session is.
That's what the show is.
That's all we do.
John Kirby looks so disturbed behind you right now on that TV screen. He looks shocked. Oh, man, what's going on there? I don't know. When we come back, Wiggins America, we're going to talk about the First Lady treatment. It must be wonderful to be the First Lady. Everybody's so nice and kind and, well...
If you're Jill Biden.
Doctor.
No, sorry.
Dr. Biden.
I just messed up.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe. Follow Annie on Twitter @Annie Frey Show.
AirComfortService.com wants you to know that here at the end, through June, you can save boatloads of cash when you go to Air Comfort Service and you get a qualifying system. $1,550 on Carrier Cool Cash rebates on qualifying systems. You can also qualify for 0% financing up to 72 months. That's fantastic. And you might be eligible for utility rebates and tax credits on top of all of that. If you put your whole system together, now if you've been thinking about your air conditioning unit, it's not doing the trick. I'm looking right now at my computer screen. It says it's 83 degrees and sunny. You need to be running your air conditioner in your home and making sure that you are staying in your comfort zone. Maybe your air conditioner is blowing cool air, but you're not really cooling the house like you should, using all that energy that you are. Maybe you need to have your insulation checked as well. If you bundle your new system with attic insulation, you can save an additional 20%. You can contact Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation for a free estimate on a new air conditioner, HVAC system, and attic insulation today. But those Carrier Cool Cash rebates end June 30th. Get on the phone today and start that conversation right now. 314-513-0091. That's 314-513-0091. You can find them online at aircomfortservice.com.
Mark Cox here. Have you noticed that for sale signs in your neighborhood have been up longer than normal? Why? They don't have my good friend and trusted realtor Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. That's why I only recommend you call Gloria Liu. I've been telling you about her for years now. Call Gloria before you list your home. Gloria has the buyers with over 2,400 exclusive buyers in her database looking for a home in your neighborhood. Gloria sells twice as fast and for 5% more money on average when compared with other agents. With Gloria, you sell faster and for more money. She'll guarantee up front in writing to sell your home at your price and your time frame, or she'll buy it herself. Call Gloria today at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. Conditions apply. Gloria and the seller must agree on price and possession date. We made it. Summer is here, and I hope you have an incredible vacation planned. Mark Cox for my friends at Brenton Vision. If you've considered vision correction, now is the time to act before that summer vacation. Brenton Vision is the only place in Missouri you find all 7 forms of advanced vision correction, and their surgeon, Dr. Jason Brenton, explains these advanced treatments have a very quick recovery time. You don't have to miss out at all on your summer fun. And maybe you're thinking, well, how do I spend money on that and an awesome vacation? You can do both. Brenton Vision has very affordable payment plans. You can absolutely budget for clear vision and a great vacation this summer. Don't just take my word for it. My wife had lens replacement at Brenton Vision and she loves it. Look up Brenton Vision online. Check out the over 1,100 5-star reviews. Call them at 314-375-2020. 314-375-2020 or BrentonVision.com.
For the first time since 2020, the third edition of the Karen's Cup. Beginning June 3rd, players will compete for a $180,000 prize fund. This tournament features 10 of the top female chess players in the world, including returning champion Hampi Koneru, along with top-rated American Irina Krush. It's one of the most decisive classical tournaments in chess that you won't want to miss. Catch all the action on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube and Twitch channels.
How might this week's big stories impact your portfolio? Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale with Stifel. Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Eric Robert during On the Money every Saturday from 11 till noon right here on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
We really need to know, what kind of phone do you use? That's the poll of the day, in fact. Which phone do you use, Apple or Android? Get on the Annie Frey Show YouTube page and let us know. We're going to publish a peer-reviewed paper at the end of the day. That's not true. The time check is 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Big ideas, real debate, solid entertainment. You found it here.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
97.1 FM Talk.
Let's go, girls.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! Nice. Very nice. And well done on picking the song, because we were talking about First Ladies. The reason...
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the radio stuff that just happened there.
I don't want to. I don't do that. You can do that if you want to. The reason we're talking about First Ladies at all and not radio stuff is because First Ladies Day was Friday. How did you guys celebrate? Oh, yeah? Okay.
I I don't remember, honestly. It was that great.
Yeah, it was a great day. So what I did was I pulled I would say the 4 most talked about first ladies or first lady candidates right now, and just looked at media coverage of them over the last couple weeks. As you could probably guess, some of them are getting better media coverage than others, just in general. So I put them kind of in order here. So I'm going to start with those who are getting the best media coverage down to who's getting the worst out of these 4. Michelle Obama, Jill Biden, Casey DeSantis, and Melania Trump. So first, I looked up Michelle Obama. Top stories about Michelle Obama have nothing to do with her running for president, you'll be glad to know.
I think she is.
They are all to do with fashion. And in fact,
just wait until she gets replaced on the ticket. Or no, the current administration becomes a VP. Joe Biden drops out of the race and she's natural.
Wait a minute.
Mhm.
In the current administration,
She's going to take over.
Joe
for
Biden
Kamala.
leaves, Kamala
No.
moves up.
No.
Oh, okay. She just replaces Kamala.
No, Joe Biden has to replace Kamala.
Joe Biden becomes VP again?
Good grief. Is this hard?
Wait. Okay. Joe Biden as president doesn't include Kamala on the next ticket, includes Michelle Obama instead.
No. Joe Biden replaces his vice president of Kamala Harris with Michelle Obama.
That's what I just said.
No, it is not.
It is literally exactly what I said. But
I hate this day. It is not what you said.
I did. He replaces her with Michelle Obama for 2024.
No, right now.
Oh, right now. Oh, that's the difference is timing. Okay.
It's a huge difference. One of them is running with a new person on your ticket. The other one is the person becomes the vice president.
Can you just replace a vice president, though?
You can if you make the deal with Kamala Harris that's going to go down in an ugly way.
All right. Yeah, I guess if you make the deal. But right now, all Michelle Obama is getting is press about the way that she dresses. And most coverage of first ladies actually is about the way they dress. This article from She Knows is the top search result when it comes to Michelle Obama. And it's all about different first ladies' fashion. And they go through history and they're hitting Eleanor Roosevelt and Jackie Kennedy. And then they stop on Michelle Obama and they give her 3 different ones because she's so iconic. It says when the Obamas moved to the White House, they were already making history as the first black president and first lady. At their inaugural ball, they showed off just how glowing the two were as Michelle wowed in her red halter gown. And then she gets another one about her sleeveless gown. And then she gets another one. Although we normally apologize for including 3 pictures of Michelle in this gallery, in the interest of fairness, we'll just let this gold dress at her last state dinner speak for itself. Iconic in every way. They move on to Melania Trump. And the only thing they say about Melania is...
supermodel.
No. She was traveling to Texas to see the treatment of children taken from their families at the Mexican border when she boarded the plane in this Zara jacket saying, "I don't care, do you?" Iconic in all the wrong ways.
Do you remember when they got the Melania tapes and the whole thing of Melania tapes, the whole thing that they caught Melania saying, and they played it for everyone to dunk on Melania, was her saying, "They don't want to talk to me about anything serious. I want to talk about these kids at the border, and that all they want to talk about is Christmas at the White House." She's like, "I don't give a about Christmas," and then they're like, "She hates Christmas."
Yes,
and
she
it's
hates
like,
baby Jesus.
no, she was talking about wanting to do something meaningful and purposeful, and they're like, "But what about the Christmas decorations?"
Yeah.
I love her more.
It's terrific spin.
Wait, I haven't caught up with the comments, but if it hasn't happened already, in 3, 2, 1, comments about Melania Trump in a magazine that are scandalous. They will degrade everything that she has ever done because she made a choice to show her body in a way that feminism says, yeah, women, do what you want to do, make the money that you want to make. When a conservative person, I don't even know if she was conservative then, who knows 5 languages, who blah, blah, blah. When she does it, it's wrong. Go on and lay it in the comments right now and make yourself the hypocrite you are.
Top story from the last 2 weeks involving Jill Biden is Jill Biden celebrates her birthday among the pyramids of Egypt. I mean, it's 2 weeks of that.
Did she, like Joe Biden, say, "I think I'll stay here"?
She just gives a bunch of comments. She apparently did a video, one of those famous ones where she's like Whistler's mother sitting next to, no, that's American Gothic, where she's sitting next to Joe Biden he's saying nothing, and she's saying everything about their trip to Egypt. That's there. Casey DeSantis is actually, I think, getting better treatment right now than Melania Trump is. So I put her next on the list. This article, there's a huge, look at this thing. This is like 47 pages.
Does Odyssey know you printed all of that out?
They don't. Don't tell them.
Holy cow.
Because that is one article from the New York Times.
Ryan.
And just called The Strategic
That's
Fashioning
like 30 pages.
of Casey DeSantis. Yeah, I couldn't get it to print because I had maxed out my free articles, so I had Anna print it, and she just printed the whole thing. So it's really on her account.
You just blamed Anna. No.
She can't hear this. Doesn't matter.
Is she looking at you right now?
Yeah.
She should be.
I was hoping she wasn't listening, but she is. They did this huge expose about Casey DeSantis, and it's mostly neutral. It's not terribly negative, but they do get into it. They say, while Casey is still somewhat of a contentious presence in her husband's campaign, because some critics think she has too much sway over him right now, it's Melania who
Isn't
should
that
be
what the
worried.
left wants, is beta men who are told what to do by their women?
When it's convenient.
She has too much sway over him right now, but Jill Biden doesn't.
Yeah, Joe Biden
great point.
doesn't even know he's the president.
He definitely did not know he was in that video about Egypt.
Oh.
She was just talking about the king and queen and people getting married and how
Are you
wonderful
tell
it
that
is.
part? Are you going to talk about the nickname they just gave Casey DeSantis?
Yeah, isn't it Walmart
Melania? Mm-hmm.
Something like that?
You know what? If they really want to get her, they'd have been like Target Melania.
Oh,
But
they
didn't go
missed
there.
their chance.
They pulled that punch.
Melania is last on the list. Here's a couple articles about her, the top ones that come up, other than Walmart Melania, because that's a big topic right now. This one from Vanity Fair. Surprise, surprise. Melania Trump says she and her sexual predator husband want to lead America with love.
Vanity Fair?
Vanity Fair. Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah. This one is from The Intelligence, or New York Magazine. Melania fully supports Donald, in parentheses, though she's keeping her distance. So she put out a statement saying she's fully on board with this campaign. Nothing really controversial about it.
She kept her distance the whole time.
But it says the former First Lady offered this seemingly scripted statement. My husband achieved tremendous success in the first administration, and he can lead us toward greatness and the prosperity once again. And then it says she went on to confirm that Donald has managed to convince his own wife to back his 2024 bid. Like she has no free will.
Nah.
That's what it says, folks.
Well, I hate you. I hate you. Folks, you don't say the L. I'm asking Harris Faulkner in the next hour if you say the L. I'm asking her. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
There's more riding with Metro Transit than people. Metro Transit helps move our economy. If you are a person looking to change careers, join our team. You may qualify for a signing bonus too. We are conducting on-site interviews this Saturday, June 10th at the North County Transit Center, located at 3140 Herschel Road in St. Louis. Metro Transit offers good health and retirement benefits, so stop by to get your career and our local economy moving. For more info, visit workatmetrostl.com.
Hey, it's Bo for Reinhold Electric. You know how you can tell Reinhold Electric is the right electrician for whatever your job is at your home or your business? Is because you see Reinhold trucks everywhere. They're on the roads, they're at the airports, they're at homes, they're at businesses. Heck, I was on my way to Minnesota about a month ago, and I saw Reinhold trucks in the middle of Iowa. If you need an electrician, call on Reinhold Electric. Their number is 314-631-1158. That's 314-631-1158 at ReinholdElectric.com.
It's all too obvious. We're being let down by the institutions we used to trust. American families are talking about a future of food shortages, banks failing, society breaking down, and what seems like the setup for the apocalypse. But instead of throwing up their hands, folks are leaning into self-reliance, investing in emergency food storage now more than ever. And My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, has made it easier than ever for you to have peace of mind knowing you're prepared. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and stock up on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. You get tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save $200 plus get free shipping on 3-month emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It's time to prepare for what we all know is coming. Go to mypatriotsupply.com now. mypatriotsupply.com.
This is a message for all St. Louis Metro homeowners. If you want to sell your house, but only the thought of it gives you a headache, Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis has great news for you. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can help you avoid any headache and will buy your house for cash in as-is condition, and you won't even have to do any repairs, cleaning, or paying any fees. Just call 314-782-8000 for a fast and easy solution and sell your house today. Chris buys all kinds of houses, inherited houses, vacant houses, fixer-uppers, and also beautiful houses. All you need to do is call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis at 314-782-8000 and let Chris take care of everything for you. Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis, 314-782-8000 and get the peace of mind you deserve.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The U.S. doesn't know for sure. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That bottom line from the White House after a dam collapsed in Ukraine, causing massive flooding and forcing thousands to evacuate. Ukraine says Russia blew up the dam. Russia blames Ukrainian bombardment in a contested area near the city of Kherson.
We're doing the best we can to assess those reports, and we are working with the Ukrainians to gather more information. But we cannot say conclusively what happened at this point.
National Security Council spokesman John Kirby also says many deaths are likely and that the dam collapse could have devastating impacts on Ukraine's energy security, with a power plant also destroyed. Kirby also sidestepping comment just a short time ago on a report that Washington had information the Ukrainians had been planning an attack on Russia's Nord Stream pipeline. Kirby says the U.S. still calls that attack sabotage, but he notes that multiple investigations continue. Parts of a new Florida law banning transgender care for minors have just been blocked temporarily by a federal judge, ruling that gender identity is real and that the state has no rational basis for denying patients treatment. The ruling is narrow, focusing on 3 children whose parents sued over access to puberty blockers. The largest cryptocurrency exchange in the U.S. is being sued on several fronts. 10 states accuse Coinbase of violating state securities laws, and the Securities and Exchange Commission filed its own lawsuit accusing the company of operating as an unregistered securities exchange. This just a day after the SEC sued crypto giant Binance.
They brought forth 13 charges, including also running an unregistered platform and commingling customer assets. Remember, that's what the government is going after FTX for as well.
Fox Business's Kelly O'Grady. Binance has vowed a vigorous defense. Coinbase says the solution is legislation, not litigation, arguing fair rules of the road need to be developed. America's listening to Fox News.
At Simply Safe, we design award-winning security to protect every inch of your home. It's easy to set up yourself, and now there's an even easier option. Have an expert do it for you with Simply Safe Pro Install. Always protecting, never a contract. 2 easy installation options, backed by 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at American Humane.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Quiet time. Stay with us this afternoon. Partly to mostly sunny skies. Downtown will probably reach about 92. Most of us upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. 80s for evening plans. 65 for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny. Backdoor cold front coming in. That could trigger a couple of scattered thunderstorms around Wednesday afternoon. 85, delightful weather. Low humidity Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage, the bagel loan, the only place you can get the bagel loan. He calls it a bagel loan because bagels look like 0. And when you use the bagel loan to get your mortgage, you pay 0 in fees that other lenders will charge you for. This is a no-brainer. When you call or text 314-324-4440, that's 314-324-4440, you're getting Stewie, like directly to Stuart at Stuart's American Mortgage. And you can say to him, if you call him, if you text him, say, I heard about this on the Annie Frey Show. How do I get my mortgage so I don't have to pay any closing costs? He said, let me tell you what I can tell you about the bagel loan. I've used the bagel loan for a refinance twice. Of course, rates had gone down previously. I did that back a few years ago, lowered my rate. But there are a lot of people who have gotten mortgages here recently. You can do a refinance because rates have come down since their peak highs within the last 10 months or so. Stewie is there to walk you through the process. He's not going to put you through this if he can't help you, but the bagel loan is legit. It's for real. I'm a customer of it myself, and I encourage you to give it a try as well. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
If you're as thankful to your first responders as we are, then nominate a local department and let us feed them a great meal. Compliments of Grill Master Tony Stone. Mark Cox here. Visit 971talk.com/contests. Help us feed our first responders. You can nominate someone today.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
It is my vision to take the next step to this, to go to the faith-based locales, and then move to private residence. There are residents who are suffering right now because of economic challenges. They have spare rooms, they have locales, and if we can find a way to get over the 30-day rule and other rules that government has in its place, we can take that $4.2 billion, 4.3 even maybe now, that we potentially would have to spend, and we could put it back in the pockets of everyday New Yorkers, everyday houses of worship, instead of putting it in the pockets of corporations, and some of those corporations come from outside our city.
Imagine a country that is in such disarray that due to the suffering, Eric Adams, mayor of New York City, due to the suffering of economic challenges, that maybe you would consider housing illegal immigrants in your home in New York City because A, they have nowhere to go, and B, you've got no way else to get the money.
Jim Carafano,
These are dangerous times.
Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at Heritage.
Man, Jim Carafano back with us. I'm looking at this going, Mayor Adams, I don't know if this sounds exactly the way you think that this sounds. It seems like times are a little tough in New York City.
Well, first of all, these are American taxpayer dollars. This is not pennies from heaven. This is not magic money. So what he's saying is taking the dollars that we have earned and give them to the government in service of us, and then taking those dollars to house illegal aliens. Here's a shocking thought. How about if we just don't let illegal aliens in the country to begin with?
Bingo.
You know, we ran the numbers on this, and people don't realize this, but if you count the public burden of illegal aliens, that is more than what it would cost to secure the border. And then you add on opioid overdoses, human trafficking, and all the other criminal activities, and it would be infinitely cheaper for the United States to actually secure the border than to do what Biden's doing.
It's absurd. And again, this always brings me back to the same original question. It looks like absolute pandemonium chaos at the southern border. Like we have no idea what we're doing. We have no solution whatsoever. It's so absurd that it seems to me like this has to be the desired outcome for it to be this bad and make sense.
Yeah, we've had this conversation. I don't care if it sounds like I've got a tinfoil hat on. I believe it is. Look, first of all, this is an administration that committed to this policy. And this is an administration that cannot be wrong. It doesn't matter how bad it was, whether it's the Afghanistan withdrawal or any other policy. Once they've committed to it, or the Inflation Reduction Act, which didn't reduce inflation, or the Infrastructure Act, which didn't build the infrastructure, or the COVID Recovery Act, which actually didn't help the country recover from COVID. Once they've committed to it politically, it's a good thing, and the outcomes be damned. It's like the captain of the Titanic saying, look, it's a great voyage. I don't care what the people on the lifeboat say. So that's one thing. The other thing is this party is funded and ideologically driven by organizations that believe that we need to live in a borderless world, and that in the end of the day, world governance needs to dole out resources to everybody. And they're using America as the poster child for this giant experiment. And not to mention the Chinese, the Russians, the Iranians, they all love this policy. They think this is wonderful, helping America undermine itself. So no matter how you look at it, nobody benefits from this except an administration which can't admit they're wrong because that might cost them political power. And the only metric that they really care about at the end of the day is if they are in power. And the reason they believe that is they believe they are the best people on earth, and they're the only ones that can be trusted with power. And therefore, the most important thing is they are in charge.
Jim Carafano with us. He's the Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation, our weekly friend here on the Annie Frey Show. I mean, national security concerns, drug trafficking, human trafficking, immigrants that are now potentially going to be staying in homes of people who need the money from the government, i.e. taxpayers, or just the general tax burden that this is inflicting on the United States. You have been saying on this show since the last election that in 2024, this is going to be, if not one of the premier issues facing voters, and it's going to make a difference. Are any of those things I listed there the one that permeates the average uninterested in politics voter to say, no, this one's different?
Well, I think they all do because they all touch people in their communities. I mean, when Biden's term is up, there will be double the illegal population in the United States than there was before. That will actually, if they were all in one state, they would be one of the largest states in the country.
Wow.
And it is it's only growing. If there's a second look, and I don't do politics, and I don't tell people who to vote for. If there's a second Biden term, and you keep on the same policies, it's not going to be double after another 4 years, because the pipeline just keeps growing and the networking just keeps getting stronger. If we run this policy, we will get to a point when the people who are legally allowed to be here are a minority of people in the country.
Well, excuse me, as we watch this problem just magnify and grow exponentially, and nobody pays any attention to it because we think they're invested in it, looking around the world, and you do global news as well, and it's important that we try to bring this all into one conversation. I'm looking at a Reuters article. U.S. Navy shows Chinese warship unsafe interaction near Taiwan. China, Taiwan, the United States Navy being present there. This continues to be a key issue for our own personal security here in this country. What is China doing right now, and what is going on near Taiwan?
Well, the Chinese have unbending goals and unswerving commitment. But having said that, they have proven very flexible and adaptive. Maybe not smart all the time, but you know the old saying in my neighborhood anyway: throw spaghetti at the wall and see if it sticks. So the Chinese are willing to try different things, be nice, be aggressive, and just to see what works. And so what we have is a situation where this administration, on the one hand, saying yes, we need to get tough on China, but they're literally begging China to engage with them. So from a Chinese perspective, that's weakness. And when you see weakness, you don't say, oh, well, they're reaching out to me, I should be nice back to them. You say, oh, I should turn up the heat. And so what the Chinese are doing is they are giving aggression. They want America essentially to be pleading to engage with them. For what end? What are the Chinese going to give us? Nothing. So we're going to plead to engage with them, and then we're going to go to the table, and what's going to happen? They're either going to lecture us, and nothing will happen. We'll ask them for something and get nothing. Or the two sides will yell at each other, and we'll walk away. Those are the only three outcomes. And this is, I think this is the least likely because this is the president that's getting re-ready for an election. We'll make huge concessions to the Chinese and call it a win. That ain't going to fly with the American people. So tell me how this ends well. And the answer is what does this sound like? It sounds like our immigration policy. You adapt a policy which is proven not that impossible to work. It's like the Iran deal. There is no Iran deal that will actually make Iran behave better. But we continue with the policy because it's the one we have chosen. And because we are God's chosen people on earth and we can't be wrong, it must be the right policy because it's ours. That's the logic train here.
Jim Carafano speaking with us right now. I read through most of Mike Pompeo's book. It was really interesting look behind the curtain for somebody as novice as I am to how these global relations take place, negotiations take place. But you got to really see, at least from the Secretary of State's position, how Donald Trump had a really heavy hand in the way that he was negotiating on America's part, this whole idea of America first. And Donald Trump was very present in all of these negotiations with these foreign countries. I have no idea what Joe Biden's position or leadership mentality is with China, with Russia, with Ukraine, with countries in Africa right now that are dealing with a lot of turmoil.
And to be clear, I mean, Trump was not a warmonger in any sense of the word. He would get tough with people, particularly America's enemies, and once they understood that he was serious and they took him seriously, he would offer them an off-ramp. And it actually worked with the North Koreans. I mean, Trump got tough with the North Koreans. Then he offered them negotiations and summits, and I think it's widely held that North Korea might well have cut a deal with the U.S. They were just waiting to see if Trump got reelected. Because they only had confidence that Trump would follow through on a deal. One of the reasons why the Iranians won't make a deal with Biden is because they know it won't last. They know that Congress won't approve it, and if there's a Republican president, they'll throw it out 5 minutes later. So, from the Iranian perspective, why should I make a deal when there's no upside for me? Meanwhile, you keep giving me these concessions, workarounds to sanctions, and everything else, trying to do the deal. So. What's in it for me? And the answer is nothing. I mean, they're just bad at this. And here, what the number one, when they write the long history of this, what people will realize is we've seen this all before. I mean, not surprisingly, foreign policy in this administration works exactly like foreign policy in the Obama administration. And that's not surprising because it's exactly the same people. And all the world's evil people that ran around Obama for 8 years, the second Biden got elected, they go, we know how this game's played. And they've done. Look, let's be honest. Russia attacked Ukraine because they thought Biden would do nothing. And they had lots of evidence for that. And if you remember correctly, when Russia attacked Ukraine, Biden did nothing. He offered Zelensky a ride out. And it was only after Ukraine fought back and the Europeans said, well, we're going to support Ukraine, that the administration was kind of left with egg in its face, and we decided support from Ukraine. So this is a president that our enemies understand very, very well, and they understand how to push the envelope. Russia is shocked that the West didn't fall apart over over Ukraine, but that's not because of Joe Biden. It's in spite of Joe Biden. I mean, we are doing right in supporting Ukraine, but that's because Biden can't be embarrassed again like he was in Afghanistan. That's why he's sticking it out.
Jim Carafano with us right now. It shows that elections do have consequences, but it also, I think back on the history of this country, and 79 years ago today, I'm thinking of the greatest generation, right. People who went to Normandy and did what they did there. And then I hear a lot of people talk about the generation currently. I'm a millennial. Now the Gen Zers are coming in and serving in their military. And you got a leader that a lot of people question. I'm looking at the rank and file, and I'm wondering what you think. Compare the greatest generation of 79 years ago to the state of our military today.
Yeah, well, no, when you think about it, take FDR as an example. Nobody voted for FDR to be a war leader. Matter of fact, FDR ran on a campaign to keep America out of World War II. This, I think, to me, when you say elections have consequences, is the number one issue that we really face here is people vote in elections and they vote on the issues that are important to them, that they think about, healthcare, whatever. And they will tell you, well, look, I'm not voting for a commander-in-chief. I'm voting on taxes. But the reality is, because of the way our Constitution is written, you are voting for a commander-in-chief. Nobody thought they were voting for a war leader in Abraham Lincoln. Nobody thought they were voting for a war leader in Ronald Reagan when he was elected in 1980 to push back against the Soviets. The reality, though, is you are. And when the war comes, Donald Rumsfeld famously said, you fight with the army you have, not with the one you want. It's the same about leaders. You fight with the leaders that you have. And we don't have a system like Britain, for example, where Chamberlain could mess everything up, and then the government could fall, and the next day they could bring in Winston Churchill. We are stuck with the leaders that we have. So when you think about these things, and increasingly domestic and foreign policy issues all kind of meld together, I always look at three things, and it's not we tend to look at issues, and then we look at tweets, right? And we tend to look at characteristics. I don't like the hair. I don't like the tweet. I don't like how old they are. And to me, when you want to understand a leader, you don't look at characteristics like does MacArthur look like a general because he has a corncob pipe. You look at character. And character is a question of integrity. It's a question of competence. It's a question of the ability to make sound judgments. That's what makes up for a leader. And if folks want to vote for a leader as opposed to a face, then that's the kind of things to look at. I mean, not to speak badly of President Obama, he's a terrible president. He had no moral character. He made very bad decisions, and he was an incredibly political animal. And why should we be shocked at that? Was there anything in his career that said he was a person of judgment and character? And the answer is no. And he wasn't. Yeah. And neither is Biden. Matter of fact, Biden had a long public record of not being a leader of judgment or of character. And we voted to make him president anyway. And then we're shocked that he did a terrible job.
Well, the world is on fire. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's like getting somebody that, my uncle told me this great story. When he was a young kid, he got a job as a line cook in a diner, and he didn't get through the lunch hour because he couldn't cook. And the guy fired him, rightfully so, right? But this is the problem. You hire a guy that can't cook, and then you expect him to open McDonald's. It's just not going to work.
Well, we have to make better decisions, and I think that's a great point that you're saying. Even if your key issue, whatever any individual voter's key issue is, you do have to understand the full weight of that office and the responsibilities that they hold, and know that once that wartime comes, you got the guy you got the woman you got, and we need to make very good decisions in 2024. We appreciate you being with us, Jim Carafano. Good to talk to you again.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. Bye-bye. You're welcome. Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy at the Heritage Foundation. 79 years from D-Day today. We acknowledge that. The greatest generation, putting us in the position to enjoy freedom in this country and preserving it around the world. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, our next guest, Harris Faulkner, on the show with us to talk about Tim Scott, to talk about boycotts and to talk about her foundation, her book, Faith Still Moves Mountains. That foundation that I have that I share with her, and we're going to discuss that with Harris Faulkner when we come back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.
If you're looking for a dentist, have you looked into Foley Dental Group yet? FoleyDentalGroup.com. You can call them and make an appointment today to set up a first-time appointment. They're accepting new clients right now, 618-288-9670, 618-288-9670. They will provide you a different experience than you're going to get from other dentists who are out there, and they pride themselves on that. They have a whole health approach that they can provide you through your dental care. I appreciate this very much for my family, my kiddos that go there, my husband and I as well. When it comes to sleep disordered breathing, a lot of people are dealing with this and you don't even realize that you're dealing with it. There are certain symptoms that you might be experiencing and you don't realize it's because you have sleep disordered breathing. They have solutions for this that can really change and dramatically impact the quality of your sleep and the quality of your life. If you have noticed night sweats, mouth breathing, snoring, teeth grinding, even in children, bedwetting, these are all symptoms of disrupted sleep that you can get a solution for when you go to Foley Dental Group. Talk to them about these issues and understand how much of your health care you can achieve through your dental care when you go to Foley Dental Group. 618-288-9670, 618-288-9670, FoleyDentalGroup.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Faith Still Moves Mountains. Harris Faulkner is going to be on next to talk about that topic, and it's the topic and the title of her book. 126 right now in St. Louis. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, Tuesday afternoon show includes our weekly conversation with Brian Kilmeade. Also in studio, Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik, who has an amazing story. He's originally from India.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
You are the first black senator elected in the South since the Reconstruction. That would be about 114 years. Yet you say that your life disproves leftist lies. And
Yes.
My question to you is, I'm the exception, right? You're the exception. Maybe even Miss Whoopi Goldberg is the exception.
Oh, she's definitely the
but we are not the rule. And so when it comes to racial inequality, it persists in 5 core aspects of life in the U.S. Economics, education, healthcare, criminal justice, and housing. At nearly every turn, these achievements were fought, threatened, and erased, most often by white violence. You have indicated that you don't believe in systemic racism. What is your definition of systemic racism?
So Sunny Hostin there on The View, I know that we have to play clips on The View for a lot of you folks to remind you that The View exists. But these are important conversations because Senator Tim Scott, who is running for the presidency, happens to be a black man. That seems to be the key issue for the ladies on The View. When Sunny Hostin says, I'm the exception, because Sunny Hostin is a person of color as well, she finishes that sentence with right, as if it's something that we just all agree on. I cannot wait to speak to our next guest about this conversation and get Harris Faulkner's reaction to what The View did to Tim Scott and then, of course, how Tim Scott reacted. She's the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Faith Still Moves Mountains, and we're going to get to that here in a second. Harris Faulkner, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. It's great to have you back.
Annie, thank you so very much. I'm so glad to be with you. It's a little bit of a different schedule week for me this week because I'm doing the 8 p.m. Eastern. So I am dug in on a lot of different topics at this time of the day, and one of them happens to be what you are talking about. You know, I was really disappointed when I watched that yesterday. We need good leaders to want to do the job of leading this nation as the commander-in-chief. And I simply don't think you find them by working out your own personal problems. I've sat next to Sunny Hostin. I think she's got some. And I think they quite often are about whatever she's going through with regard to race, when I was on her program, she asked me, who are you broadcasting to, white or black people? And I was sitting next to Meghan McCain at the time. Whoopi Goldberg was down at the other end of the table. And I said everybody, because that's my job. I don't go on TV as a black news anchor. I go on TV as a news anchor. And she seemed to be shocked by that. Then, by the grace of God, my friend Meghan McCain had asked them to have pictures ready, and they popped up by biracial family.
Yeah.
My husband is white. My 2 kids are obviously biracial. What I felt in that moment for Senator Scott was really an ambush. And I don't know that he was really ready for it to be about anything other than the merits that he brings to be a candidate for the nomination for the Republican Party. But I think that's where you have to be with that group of women on the around that table now. I mean, it's always been prickly. It's always been kind of one of those spots where a good debate could happen. But what she did was racist. And, oh, by the way, we are the exceptional nation. I never hear that come out of her mouth. If anybody is exceptional, it is all of us as Americans having been born here.
Yeah.
But she doesn't see it that way. It's much easier to control a populace by dividing them. And I guess she wants to be part of that apparatus.
Harris Faulkner with us right now, anchor and host of the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered on Fox News. You can see her this week, 7 p.m. Central on Fox News. You know, I hear the ladies on The View make this point that, you know, she says it like, you're the exception, I'm the exception, right? And it's just a given. It's important for people to understand, especially maybe some of the Fox viewers that you have and the listeners that we have here on my show that don't partake in The View on their own fruition, that there are people who do believe that the exception for this culture is this version of wild success. How do those people on that side of the aisle ever help anybody get out of that lot in life if they believe the only way to do it is to become the exception?
Well, first of all, at 11 o'clock Eastern, I'm too busy beating The View.
Clearly.
To be watching them. So I don't get to watch them very often anymore. But I will say this. They don't see people of color who are struggling, because if they did, the Black Lives That Matter, they would see the ones in Chicago. 50, 60 people shot in a weekend. They would see that when you take the cops out of urban areas, particularly it happens to be in Democrat-led cities, that you hurt the very people of color that you say are being hurt because of racism that's endemic in the country. But they don't really see those people because they don't fit into the narrative of anything other than they need to be saved, and you can save them by calling everybody else who doesn't look like them wrong. They're not interested in saving them. If they were, they'd be there. When was the last time you saw BLM march because 50 black people were shot in Chicago? 0, never happened.
Yeah. We're here in St. Louis, and we experience a lot of that. Ferguson is
St. Louis,
suburban neighborhood here in St. Louis. Not too terribly long ago, that video went viral of a man who I drive past that part of the road every day where this man was sitting on the sidewalk and he was shot in the head and the guy just walked away. I mean, this is a daily existence for people who want to help make St. Louis a better community, a safe place to be. And we have these troubles, and it seems to me that
society is changing.
Hyping the victimization of these individuals is what makes the politicians important every election cycle, and that's it.
100%, because our society is changing. And we've got to decide who gets to inherit a society that we have fashioned and made better, some of us, by living the American dream, by talking about the American dream, by encouraging the American dream, by telling everybody that work ethic counts, that integrity counts. I'm strong in my faith. Be bold. If you believe, show the world, make it better, be a blessing. But no, they want, if you're black, you're supposed to be a victim, and if you're white, you're supposed to be guilty. Well, I don't know how we go forward from that. I honestly, at this point, don't think that The View or any of these people are interested in being a part of the goodness of conversation that needs to happen. So I don't spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah, well, we certainly spend a lot of time with you. I watch the Faulkner Focus each day, and it's clear to me watching the way you carry yourself. And I appreciate this so much because I want to talk to you for a minute about your book, Faith Still Moves Mountains. People need to check out your New York Times bestseller. When you're covering these stories, you carry your faith with you. There are a lot of people who say you need to set that aside and you need to be impartial. You go all in, Harris. And I want to know why you feel so bold to be able to do that.
Because it's necessary. And I've been put on a divine mission, not to prophesize, but to be a witness. And when Faith Still Moves Mountains first hit the New York Times bestseller list as number one, it debuted there, but it hit there more than once. It was because people were finding something in the 19 stories I told of the impenetrable power of prayer and miracles, and even when things don't work out, how you can come back. When you lean into God, He leans into you. People were needing that message. It wasn't about me. It was about a shared journey of getting to a better place with the Lord holding us, keeping us. And that message is throughout my work because it's truth. And I'm a journalist. And it's about truth, and it's about witnessing where we come together and where we are pulled apart and how we make it all work. And I think the only way it does, because we all have struggles that pull us apart, is through the Lord, through our journey, through our relationship with a loving God.
It's bold. Yeah. It's bold to hear you say that. We're speaking with Harris Faulkner. She's a 6-time Emmy Award-winning journalist. I have to think that as you're measuring these stories that you're covering over the course of your career, that the further we get as a country or as a nation or even as a world away from the capital T truth, I wonder if you feel like there is a correlation between the news stories you cover and if we have a little bit of a revival in the country, people willing to stand up and say, yes, I'm a Christian, we need Jesus. That simple, if it changes.
Well, it is happening, and I hope that it continues to. But hope isn't a strategy. We have to do it on purpose. And when we see Christians struggling, when we see the shooting and the targeting of Christians at Covenant School Elementary in Nashville, Tennessee, we need to cover that as much as we cover everything else. We need to push hard to know exactly what that targeting is about, and that Christianity cannot be under attack without coverage across all media. We don't have that yet. Pretty much it got ignored anywhere except for Fox. But that's important stuff because we're supposed to have freedom of religion in this country. But it seems like if you're Christian or Jewish, in particular, anti-Semitism is on the rise. Rabbis and Christian leaders are coming together. They're saying we got a spiritual war at our hands going on right now, and they're right. Their voices don't count. So I am hopeful and prayerful, but with the strategy of knowing as long as we bring a light to it, that we can make sure that this nation and God we trust stays that way and becomes even better. Because if we leave it to the hands of the people who hate our faith, where are we going? What do they have in store for us? Do they have something better? Because I haven't seen it. They seem to be lonely and unhappy.
Hope is not a strategy. You said it. Harris Faulkner with us, the author of the #1 New York Times bestseller, Faith Still Moves Mountains. I thank you. Thank you for being here with us and for talking about this boldly and unafraid, because we get a lot. I talk about my Christian faith. I'm raising 4 kids, and I talk about raising them in a Christian home. And a lot of people want that to be separate from their politics. And I'm looking at the rest of the world right now and saying everybody else's identity is the thing that's the most in front of my face. Why does mine not get to be out there leading me?
Man,
you're an inspiration to people to speak boldly on these issues. Thank you for being with us today.
As you are. Thanks for having me on.
Of course. Good luck tonight. We'll be watching on Fox News for sure, 7 p.m. here Central. Thank you, Harris.
All right. God bless. Bye-bye.
You as well. God bless you. Harris Faulkner, the author of Faith Still Moves Mountains. There is something very, very inspiring to me to hear someone who is just ready to say, this is who I am. I got nothing else to say, but this is who I am. To be unafraid of people who say, I hate that about you. And then you say, okay, Pastor Brad, the idea of being able to come out openly with your faith, especially in the way that she does it she has 2 shows back to back, the Faulkner Focus and Outnumbered. They talk about faith a lot. We talk about faith here, but just to be able to say, this is who I am. And when people don't like it, that doesn't affect who I am.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't change who you are. It has nothing to do with who you are. It actually says more about the person who dislikes you than it does about you. So and like you said, it's not easy to do though. You want to talk about like how brave and bold and stuff you are, but whenever the chips are down, you really find out how hard it is to actually stand up, stand for what you believe in, stand against the current when everybody else is going the wrong way because you believe what you're standing up for is right.
And go back and listen. If you didn't get to hear the whole conversation with Harris Faulkner there, you can rewind on the Odyssey app, find 97.1 FM Talk. There's a little heart, I think, up in the top right. You can favorite the station. Rewind to about 1:25 and listen to that conversation and listen to the discussion about how we make things better in our communities, in our lives, what we need to adhere to, and listen to how many times Harris Faulkner referred to who you need to vote for. That's the point. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk in the group about, I wanted to ask her about this, but we ran out of time. The Target boycott, the Bud Light boycott, all of these culturally based motivations by a lot of people who I have to think reside on both sides of the aisle politically, maybe one more than the other, but are a bipartisan group. Does this translate to votes in an election? I want to know what you think about that, so you can join us on the Annie Frey YouTube channel and comment there and let us know what you think, and we'll discuss here on the Annie Frey Show when we come back. Don't go away.
I hear the sound of your voice. All at once, it's a
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
It's so overwhelming. I delight myself in you, captivated by your beauty. I'm overwhelmed by you. And God, I run into your arms, unashamed because of mercy. I'm overwhelmed by you.
The Closet Factory, online at closetfactory.com. I appreciate these people so much and the help that they have provided my family now. It's a great investment for you and your family to get that place in your home that collects clutter. You have organized clutter in your house, don't you? You have a place that you don't even really see when you walk past it anymore. It's where you stack the mail and the bills. There are important things in that stack of papers. They're not all important, but you'll get to them when you get to them. Maybe you have a pile of coats. If you've got kids or grandkids coming in, you have the pile of toys. All of these different places in your home can have spaces in your home that house those things so that it is organized, so that you can reclaim the space in your house and make it more usable and practical for your own purposes. I know a lot of people have kids that are going away for college, maybe for the first time. And when you are noticing that spare bedroom, once they stop coming home and staying there with regularity, you can put a Murphy bed in there, a place for them to sleep when they come back, but also built-in shelving. You can get your craft room, your music room, your exercise room, whatever it might be, at the hands of the Closet Factory. 314-961-4300. Online at closetfactory.com.
Hello, I'm Howard Mackler, founder of Innovation Refunds. You've heard me talking about the payroll tax refund for months. I'm so proud that we've helped over 15,000 businesses claim over $5 billion in cash incentives. If you own a business, even if you've asked your CPA about this, you owe it to yourself to take another look. Every client is assigned a licensed and insured tax attorney who evaluates your company at my expense to accurately determine eligibility. Innovation Refunds has hundreds of 5-star reviews on Trustpilot and Google, and your business might be entitled to receive up to $26,000 per employee. Businesses of all types can qualify, including medical, professional, construction, even nonprofits. Please don't miss out on this. Even your doctor would tell you to get an expert second opinion, and we do a lot of work for doctors. Download the Innovation Refunds app now or go to getrefunds.com to potentially get a payroll tax refund of $26,000 per employee. Getrefunds.com. Getrefunds.com.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Hey, Father's Day is coming up, and let's face it, Dad can be hard to shop for, but you know what dads really like? Steak. Omaha steaks are amazing, and the experts there have made it very easy to put a smile on Dad's face this Father's Day. Head on over to omahasteaks.com, use the promo code FMTalk at checkout, and get $30 off your qualifying order. You can choose from bacon-wrapped fillets, air-chilled boneless chicken breasts, burgers, jumbo franks, and more. And if Dad has a sweet tooth, I know I do, most gift packages come with 4 delicious caramel apple tartlets. Omaha steaks equal the world's best beef, naturally aged for the ultimate in juiciness and flavor. Think about Dad opening up a delicious package from Omaha Steaks on Father's Day. Every steak and every entree is flash frozen, vacuum sealed, and ready for Dad to love whenever he's hungry. And let's face it, he'll probably share. It's all backed by an unconditional 100% money back guarantee. Place your order today at omahasteaks.com. Use that promo code FMTalk at checkout to get $30 off your order. 5 generations of family-owned expertise means uncompromising quality you can trust. Minimum order required. Head to omahasteaks.com today.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
At Underlaw, we take on the establishment and challenge corporations to be better for the safety of our community.
Call Underlaw Personal Injury Lawyers at 314 or 618 $9
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to $1,550 in carrier rebates and get 0% financing for up to 72 months on a new HVAC system. Rebates end June 30th. For details, aircomfortservice.com.
Fact-checking the mainstream media daily.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You found it here. 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I was left to my own devices. Many days fell away with nothing to show, and the walls kept tumbling down. City that we love, great clouds all over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just got done having a conversation with Harris Faulkner. Excuse me while I fangirl a little bit. I just really, really enjoy Harris Faulkner. She is a bolt of lightning energy, and I need it. And I'm going to go back and listen to that again so I can listen to her talk about being bold in her faith.
She's very thoughtful, too. You can tell she doesn't come prepared with any talking points or anything. She's just going to respond to the conversation at hand. I always appreciate that.
Yeah, as well do I. I wanted to ask her this question, and I didn't want to abuse our time with her, so I didn't want to carry this over. And so I want to talk about it here, and maybe this might bleed into the next hour as well. Listen to Larry Kudlow talking about Target.
Target, the department store. A woke stock looking for a bottom. Just look at this chart. The last month, as all this stuff has come to light, the stock is cratering. So
Fox News has a lead article right now. This is interesting, and I'm surprised it's actually taken this long for something like this to happen. There was one story about Bud Light out of like a Chicago gay bar that was mad at Bud Light because they didn't double down enough on defending Dylan Mulvaney, which I always point you back to the whole thing. When Bud Light came under fire, Bud Light goes, "We didn't mean it. It was just one can." To which I'm looking at the LGBTQ community going, "Are you cool with that?" That seems really shallow. Anywho, Fox News reports more than 200 LGBTQ groups angered by Target's decision to pull Pride merchandise from shelves are demanding the company, quote, denounce extremists, end quote, and restock all the Pride merchandise in stores and online. The Human Rights Campaign, along with GLAAD, GLSEN, and other groups, released a statement asking Target and other businesses like Anheuser-Busch to, quote, reject and speak out against anti-LGBTQ plus extremism going into Pride Month. More than 200 other progressive and LGBTQ organizations signed onto the statement, which argued that showing support for their community was good for business. I can understand some of the points that they would be arguing, but I don't know if they can prove that one.
Yeah, I mean, this is, of course, what companies are having to assess now for the first time, right? That they're having to look and say, okay, maybe we shouldn't just enter into this at all because there is no winning with it.
Pride Month has existed for at least 5 years, 6 years at least. I think that Bud Light became a partner for Pride Month in 2017 or 2018. Bud Light has had banners all over Pride events and parades for years. Cannot stress enough that it wasn't the Dylan Mulvaney can. It was the executive, the marketing exec, who had to inclusive-splain to all of us how bigoted we are and how problematic we are and how Bud Light was there to fix it. Like, imagine that. I don't think in June having a pride display in your store is new. And I don't think that the people who are boycotting Target right now are boycotting Target because Target dared to have a pride display. It's not the fact that they're doing it. It's the method that they're doing it and everything else that comes along with it. June is Father's Day. Go find the display in Target. that hits you like there's when you walk into Target, the Pride display is front and center. They would have to put the Father's Day display between the doors that open up in order to make it be in your face.
In the little air-conditioned lobby area?
Yes, before you even get to the bathrooms in Target. But we don't celebrate fathers. God forbid we celebrate fathers. Go back to May, mothers. It's not something that happens because it's not the soup du jour right now in the progressive, go back to the marketing execs. They go to school to learn what their marching orders are, and then they all get assignments in the woke army. This is what you're going to do, and this is where you're going to go, and this is how you're going to affect things for the cause. The cause is the progressive movement. You just have assignments within the progressive movement to enact this into people's lives. They've jumped the shark. I don't think that there'd be I think that if you put a pride thing, like where the Easter candy is and the Valentine's Day candy is, if there was pride stuff
the
back
seasonal
there,
section, yeah.
If there was pride stuff back there would not be this uproar. You want to put your tuck-friendly swimming suit for a man to tuck his penis inside of a woman's swimming suit and explain on the front of it how that happens as the first thing you see when you come in the door, and then do everything you can to make sure that the world knows about it? You've overstepped.
Objectively speaking, it looks as if where people have drawn the line for boycotts with Bud Light and with Target is gender fluidity. Because Pride, like you said, has existed.
The LGBTQ movement itself has created their own. I got nothing to do with it, but there is now LGB, which is very problematic for the Let's Go Blues crowd.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear it.
And pushing the T off and whatever else comes after the T. I mean, that's not my problem to hash out, but it seems to me that there is a...
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Objectively, when you look at these two boycotts, what pushed people over the edge was basically trans or gender fluidity movements, because you had Dylan Mulvaney being the one, you had these tuck-friendly suits and things being the other.
I'll take it a step further. It's not just the transgender stuff, because we've had the LGBT the T has been there for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kids.
Yes.
It's the children.
Yeah, for sure. That's what gets the average person going, okay, I'm going to stop there. All of these other things I've been okay with, but that's where I draw the line.
Let's talk more about it when we come back, because I think that the question that I want to ask, though, because there is definitely a real measurable thing happening right now. What is the thing? Can we even contain it in a description? The real question is going to be, does it translate to votes? Because we're talking about, and I continue to talk about, how we have to make the cultural difference outside of politics. This is going to be a huge issue going into the November 2024 election, and we're not that far away from it. How far away? 518 days away. Let's talk about that when we come back. And we need your vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Which phone do you use? The wrong one or Android? Go vote on the YouTube live right now.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with Truehold. Truehold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And Truehold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since Truehold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit Truehold.com and discover how much Truehold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's Truehold.com.
I'll just tell you where we are as a family with Fountains Family Dentistry. We're looking at the end of summer as a great time for our whole family to get in together. So if you are looking at back to school, I know you're probably not. It's too early for that. But think about it, because it's a good time to get those appointments on the books, especially if you got a big family. We're going to get appointments all together at Fountains Family Dentistry. My kids love going there, so it's not hard to convince them to go. They get praise from everybody from the time they walk in the door. It's just a nice and friendly place to go for people of all ages, especially kids. That's why they call it Fountains Family Dentistry. So if you are behind on getting your teeth cleaned, or you need a crown or something a little bit more serious, they do it all there at Fountains Family Dentistry. They're in Fairview Heights, Illinois, and you can find them online at fountainsfamilydentistry.com. You can also give them a call by going there and finding their phone number. That's what I usually do. They do have the online form. They make it super easy, but I still like to call them, talk to Steve, tell him what my situation is, and they work me in every time. fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
For the first time since 2020, the third edition of the Karen's Cup. Beginning June 3rd, players will compete for a $180,000 prize fund. This tournament features 10 of the top female chess players in the world, including returning champion Hampi Koneru, along with top-rated American Irina Krush. It's one of the most decisive classical tournaments in chess that you won't want to miss. Catch all the action on the St. Louis Chess Club YouTube and Twitch channels.
Right now at Diamonds Direct, whether you buy a $3,000 diamond pendant or a $30,000 designer ring, you can spread your payments up to 5 years. Or if you prefer, you can get on-the-spot savings as much as $5,000. And everything's included. Exquisite diamond rings, earrings, bands, bracelets. It's our best offer of all time. You can pick a low monthly payment for up to 5 years or get instant savings up to $5,000. Don't miss this amazing offer. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
One transcare ban is partially blocked in court. Elisa Brady, Fox News. It's a ruling in a fight over a Florida law that restricts transgender care for minors. However, it's a narrow decision.
Federal Judge Robert Hinkle has blocked the state of Florida for now from enforcing a new law signed by Governor Ron DeSantis that keeps minors from taking puberty blockers as part of their gender transition. Hinkle, appointed by former President Clinton, said gender identity is real and this law is an exercise in politics but not good medicine. The ruling affects just 3 minors who are receiving treatment currently, and Hinkle said there are risks in not allowing them to continue these treatments with anxiety, depression, even suicidal thoughts.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. The ruling does not reverse the law's ban on gender transition surgeries while the legal fight continues. The U.S. still assessing Ukrainian claims that Russia blew up a dam, causing a flood disaster.
The Russians had illegally taken over that dam in the reservoir many months ago.
The National Security Council spokesman John Kirby says the Russians were still occupying the area. The mother of a 6-year-old boy who shot his teacher in Virginia faces new charges and won't fight them.
Deja Taylor's attorney says she'll plead guilty to federal charges that were filed Monday, accusing Taylor of lying at a firearms forum to obtain and possess a gun. Taylor's also charged with felony and misdemeanor counts, including child neglect, after her first-grade son took her 9mm gun to school in Newport News in January and shot his teacher, Abby Zwerner, in the hand and chest. She survived and is also suing the school district. The boy won't be prosecuted.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. The White House says there's nothing in the Constitution that prevents Medicare from negotiating lower drug prices. And the administration's confident will win a court fight on the issue. Merck becoming the first big drug maker to sue the federal government over price negotiations. America is listening to Fox News.
At Simply Safe, we know during a break-in, every second counts. So our home security system is powered by 24/7 professional monitoring agents who use Fast Protect technology, only from Simply Safe, to capture video evidence and verify a threat for fast police response. Now, install Simply Safe your way. Do it yourself or have an expert set it up for you with new Pro Install. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Quiet time. Stay with us this afternoon. Partly to mostly sunny skies. Downtown will probably reach about 92. Most of us upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Tonight, partly cloudy skies. 80s for evening plans. 65 for the low. Wednesday, partly sunny. Backdoor cold front coming in. That could trigger a couple of scattered thunderstorms around Wednesday afternoon. 85, delightful weather. Low humidity Thursday and Friday. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
Over 90,000 satisfied customers since 1929. Frederick Roofing, 314-645-2000.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
RulerFoods.com. You go to the website, you find the Ruler Foods closest to you, and while you're doing your cookouts this summer, don't miss out on saving on your grocery bill. Go to Ruler Foods, and if you're putting stuff on the grill, let's talk about their Heritage Farm boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $1.99 a pound. Kroger 80% lean ground beef, sold in 3-pound rolls, $3.33 a pound. Cherries, I love fresh cherries. It just screams summer to me. $3.97 a pound. 18-ounce blueberries, Molly's favorite, or 3-pound navel oranges, $2.97 each. Saving at Ruler Foods is as simple as shopping at Ruler Foods. They also have a 10 for 10 stock-up event, which is happening now through June 13th. So swing by the Ruler Foods closest to you, and you get 10 for 10. Chef Boyardee canned pasta, Manwich Hunt snack packs, Martha White muffin mix, Kraft macaroni and cheese, Rice-A-Roni, Haribo Gold Bears. Ryan Wiggins, I'm looking at you, and theater box candy.
Ooh, now you got my attention.
10 for $10. Yeah, sweet stuff. You can save at Ruler Foods. They have Kroger brands at Ruler Foods prices, and you save every day you shop there. That's where my family goes. I hope you will give them a shot as well. RulerFoods.com.
Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Because it probably can.
Tony La Russa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
The voice for hardworking, free-thinking Americans.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad that you're here with us today. It's Tuesday, And we have covered quite a bit of ground so far. Jim Carafano, I always love talking to him. He really cuts through the noise. And he says what I think a lot of people need to hear right now, which is what is really taking place, especially when it comes to the southern border. I know that I seem to go that direction with the conversation with Jim Carafano a lot, but I just really think it's incredibly important. And it's a top-tier story. There are so many stories right now, Ryan, that are major top-tier stories. And just based on the news of the day, they just kind of go through the revolving door. They catch back up, and there they are again, and then they go to the background.
Yeah, it depends on what they are, too, because some of them have been around for a long time, like the border issue, like fentanyl. And so it's the same story, but it's still a problem. Nobody's fixing it. And then other ones, you have whistleblowers coming out every other day from different agencies, and you go, this is a major story. And then tomorrow, it's a different person. You can't even remember the last one.
Yeah. And as we get days and days and days closer to the election, it's going to become silly season. I mean, it's going to be obnoxious. Chris Christie in the race.
Yay.
Mike Pence has filed his paperwork, and was he announcing tonight or tomorrow?
I knew it was this week. I don't know when.
Yeah, his chances are great. We're not even sure.
We don't know.
Nobody's asking for it. Chris Christie's getting in the race. Again, nobody's asking for it, except for maybe the people who want someone to go straight to Donald Trump. I don't believe there's any purpose for Chris Christie in the race, and I think that he knows this, that his only purpose is to be the one who attacks Donald Trump from within. I think that's the point.
He doesn't seem to have really a platform other than, you know what, you don't like that guy and you're a Republican. I don't like that guy and I'm a Republican. But that's it.
Well, he said as much. He's like, Donald Trump doesn't want to be on a debate stage with me. That's like, oh, I see where you're going here.
He said, Chris Christie said that nobody knows him better. Nobody knows Trump better than Chris Christie.
Chris Christie does know Trump really well. I mean, they were part of the same campaign in 2016, and Chris Christie, I think, was advising Trump in some ways. I don't know if it was an official capacity or not.
I can't remember exactly what the event was, but there were several times where Chris Christie just looked like he begged and received permission to be in the background of the room when the things were happening.
Yeah. His lane, I just don't get it, because if his choice is I'm just the not Trump candidate,
I
hate Trump.
This is easy to understand.
Okay,
he's not trying to be the president. He's not running to be the president. He's running to be in the cabinet. Of the not Trump candidate, which is probably DeSantis. And if you have Ron DeSantis out there running on issues and making the case for him and his Florida scoreboard saying, hey, I can do this. In fact, I have done it, and I'm ready to take what my successes have been in Florida to the White House. One problem, we've got to get through Donald Trump. I don't believe that Ron DeSantis has to be willing to fight back against Donald Trump's petty arguments as to why Donald Trump is better, because Donald Trump would make a good president, make the arguments for the successes that you've had. You've done well so far. Let's talk about that. Of course, that's not the direction Trump took. It is going to be incredibly more effective for Ron DeSantis to stay on message about what he is going to do for the American people starting day one in 2024, while Chris Christie is slinging arrows from the right of Donald Trump on these particular issues, because they do have that personal relationship. And if Chris Christie is in this race, I mean, when people talk about people running for vice president all the time, I think Chris Christie's running for something. He wants to be a part of the team. He wants to be relevant. He knows he's not going to be the president. He's never going to be the president of the United States.
No, certainly it raises his profile, gives him at least a narrative that you can attach to Chris Christie again, because right now he seems to not have one.
No, it makes him valuable to somebody. And if he makes himself valuable to somebody, then his career in politics can live on.
Well, maybe I would say yes to the media. I just don't get why DeSantis would look at that and go, oh boy, he has really shown to me that he needs to be the Secretary of the Interior or something. It just doesn't seem like a good resume to be a part of a different administration.
Because Ron DeSantis doesn't get to pick a Secretary of the Interior if Donald Trump doesn't lose.
Yeah, but if he's running to be on DeSantis's team, if I'm Ron DeSantis, I don't look at Chris Christie and go, oh, wow.
Let me put it to you like this. What made you look at Pete Buttigieg and said, Secretary of Transportation?
Well, he got enough of the vote.
That one time he got his bike out of the big Suburban that chugged gasoline and then rode it a block for a photo op.
Yeah.
It was
smart use of transportation.
He got out of the race. He basically did the anti-Christie. He was clearing himself out of the way instead of clearing somebody out
and
of the way.
throwing all the support behind
And throwing it behind
one
Biden.
guy.
Yeah, he could have caused a lot of problems for Biden, whereas I don't see
Good thing
Christie
that nobody
causing a
caused
problem.
problems for Biden.
What's that?
Good thing nobody caused problems for Biden.
No kidding. guy cakewalked. But I don't see Chris Christie being enough of a roadblock for DeSantis or Trump that he could step out of the way and throw his support behind
It's not about that. He's not trying to win any support.
Mm-mm.
He's trying. It's not about Chris Christie's path to the White House for himself.
Right.
It's self-preservation for Chris Christie, and it's a new front for Donald Trump to have to pay attention to if Chris Christie can be as successful as he thinks he is like that quote you said where he's like, he does not, I'm the last person he wants to be on a debate stage with.
Yeah.
Donald Trump's just going to call him fat.
Yeah.
Yes. I was going to say, I don't really see like what else is going to happen.
I'm not saying that to make fun of Chris Christie. I'm saying Chris Christie is going to be going pew, 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 pew with all these facts.
Yeah.
And Donald Trump's going to say, I think he's hangry.
Yes. Yes. That is exactly what's going
And
to happen.
Donald Trump people are going to love it and think it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
And non-Donald Trump people are going to pull their hair out, the hair that they have left.
What is the lane? Is Pence trying to do that too? Then I don't get what he's
I
doing.
think Pence has this righteousness about himself that is probably kind of honest, really. But that's not the palate that this country has right now.
No, what's he polling at? About 4%, something like that. So there are some people who think he's the solution, but that surprises
Yes, the Democrats.
me. Democrats think he's the solution.
The point of the Mike Pence foil in this whole thing is just for Democrats to be able to say, why can't you be more like Mike Pence?
That's true. That's very true.
Because Mike Pence won't win.
Because now they look at George Bush and they go, boy, I miss the days of George W. Bush.
I don't hear a lot of them say that.
I miss that pretentious cowboy.
But they view him as part of the club. Now, you're the part of the past. You're okay. You're fine. You criticize Trump with the rest of them, so you're fine.
He attacked Trump.
Yeah.
That's why they like him.
That's it.
It's nothing else. They keep wanting Mike Pence to attack Trump. Like, well, that he called for you to hang, and Mike Pence won't take the bait.
I always wonder what Mike Pence sounds like when he's like putting away groceries in his house. Like I'm trying to think of the most mundane thing you can do, and he's talking to his wife. I bet it sounds really fancy.
Oh, it's very official.
Always.
Yeah. That's not where we put the canned goods, honey.
I think he calls her mother.
Mom?
No. Mother.
Oh.
Mother, do you mind putting the eggs in the refrigerator?
Not that it's his mother.
No.
Because I do that with my wife now, too. Mom.
You call her Mom?
It just slips out.
I said yesterday, we were at a baseball game last night, and I don't know, it was getting really contentious, and we played a team, and they're a good team, and they beat us. But it was really close. Whatever. And I'm Jared's conscience kind of on the side, like trying to keep him from getting, because I'm his assistant coach for basketball. So, and that's usually, that's the most fast-paced coaching that you can do, I think, is basketball. Baseball is a little slower paced. He helps me with volleyball. But it was getting kind of heated. And there were people yelling on both sides. And I wanted to tell Jared, because guess who was pitching? Charlie, my son, and we needed to pitch. We needed to get to the top of whatever the next inning was in less than 9 minutes. Otherwise, because we were the visiting team. So Charlie needed to go in there, and he needed to throw strikes fast, and he did great.
Mm-hmm.
But Charlie's the type of kid who, if he hears all this stuff going on, that pressure will get to him, as it would most 13-year-old kids.
Mm-hmm.
He's not unusual in any way, shape, or form. And so I'm like, Jared was standing right by the fence where I was, and I wanted to say, Jared, you got to keep his head in the game. Like, don't let it. And I was like, Dad! And I'm like, oh, that's embarrassing. Everybody's yelling, and I'm like, Dad!
Hey, Dad! 20 guys turn around.
Yeah. And then Charlie's on the mound going, Mom, stop calling him Dad in front of all my friends. Oh, my gosh. This is embarrassing.
It's just the problem of hearing the name associated with the person enough that you eventually just adopt it.
Yes. And then you become old people, and you're like, Mother. And then you run for president.
Yeah. We put those on the turnabout, Mother.
The lazy Susan.
Don't know why she's lazy. She should get off her butt sometimes and do some work.
That's not the way we handle
Why
things
is it
in
a
this
lazy
country, Mother.
Susan? What did Susan do?
Nothing.
She was lazy.
She didn't do anything, Annie. That's the problem.
Okay, if you've got the lazy Susan, make a lot of people mad. If it were a kitchen appliance or a kitchen feature, what would the angry Karen be?
Ooh, the angry Karen. I don't know.
Blender.
I think blender. Because I think a better name for lazy Susan would be the Runaround Sue. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
It gets around.
And around.
And around and around. What was the Karen? What was the adjective in front of it?
Angry.
Angry. The angry Karen.
Or the hostile Karen.
I love the idea that
Should we
people
put
would
that
start.
in lazy Susan? No. Go stick it over there in the hostile Karen.
The hostile Karen.
I know Karens who listen to the show religiously, and they laugh at the whole Karen thing, but there are some Karens out there who are being,
They're not mad. They're not happy.
You know how they're being. I'm so sorry. It's just too easy. Make fun of Annie. Name something really, really aggressively awful, Annie, and just
I like that
yell at it.
We've put Karens into a catch-22 where they can't really do anything about it.
No, it's the meanest thing you could do.
You either have to accept it,
Karen,
or you have to get mad and then confirm your name.
Yeah, I think that the Karens that I know in my life have the best sense of humor ever because they're the non-Karen Karens.
Also, I'm going to name one of those electronic can openers the Bored Chad. It's just kind of there. You don't use it a lot. Most of them are pop-top anymore. You don't even need it.
Yeah, just waiting to be useful.
Yep.
Nobody wants to use it.
A Bored Chad.
I love the idea that people would start like, no, I'm not going to call
totally
that
some crap that Gen Z would
I'm
do.
not going to call that a blender anymore. I'm going to call it an angry Karen.
Hostile Karen.
A hostile Karen. Like it's not even shorter.
Hey, honey, can you make me a blueberry shake in the hostile Karen? I'm just feeling a little.
Mom.
Yeah, Mom, Mother.
Mom, can you make me a shake in the hostile Karen?
Dad, Jared. Dang it. Run around, Sue.
Adopt that. You can have that. St.
Probably-
Louis, that's yours
can't.
now. Yeah, you can call your lazy Susan whatever
we
you
should
want.
make it our goal to try to make something a St. Louis thing. Start it here.
Yeah.
Oh, in St. Louis, we call those runaround Sues. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Buy a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and the Retirement Advisory Group. They are your friends. You get them on your team, and then your retirement is worry-free. That exhale that you want to breathe so that you know that all of your work is going to pay off for you when retirement shows up. You're going to be able to travel or build a home or downsize your home so that you can get maybe a cabin in the woods and fish and hunt and do whatever. I'm just basically listing off our retirement dreams someday, sometime. If you're in your late 50s or 60s and you know that retirement is upon you, make sure that you are in a position to enjoy it the way you expect to. At the Retirement Advisory Group, they're going to put you in control of your money. They build your own personalized structured income plan to generate you an income for the rest of your life. Schedule a no-cost, no obligation retirement review by calling 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Tell them Annie sent you. You'll be glad you did. Online at retirementkey.com.
Cardinals baseball is in full swing.
Right center field, a grand slam for Nolan Gorman.
With the free Odyssey app, local fans can listen live all summer long, whether you're at the grill or at the pool.
And it's a goner! An opposite field home run for Wilson Contreras.
Cardinals baseball. Cardinals announcers. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app. AUDACY. Get in the game and download it today.
Who will dare to find a new way to think about energy? One that connects our lives like never before and creates a world where we can breathe easy. NewScale dared by making 24/7 carbon-free energy a reality with our Voyager SMR power plants. Let's see how bright the future can be when cleaner, safer energy is available to all. NewScale. Power to the world. Power for all humankind. Discover the future of energy at newscalepower.com.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Updating your home with James Hardie siding has never been more popular. With all the options available, you need a partner to ensure you maximize your investment. Siding Express is ready to refresh the appearance of your home or totally transform the look by installing Hardie shake, board and batten, lap siding, or a stone accent to make it your dream home again. Siding Express is an elite preferred James Hardie contractor. They also carry Anderson and Marvin windows and doors. Need ideas? Go to sidingexpress.com and schedule a free, no-obligation consultation today. sidingexpress.com.
Right now at Diamonds Direct, whether you buy a $3,000 diamond pendant or a $30,000 designer ring, you can spread your payments up to 5 years. Or if you prefer, you can get on-the-spot savings as much as $5,000. And everything's included. Exquisite diamond rings, earrings, bands, bracelets. It's our best offer of all time. You can pick a low monthly payment for up to 5 years or get instant savings up to $5,000. Don't miss this amazing offer. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Get details and more at diamondsdirect.com on approved credit.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Don't suffer from seasonal allergies when Air Comfort Service has solutions to remove up to 99% of allergens. Improve your indoor air quality and get in your comfort zone. AirComfortService.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show.
You gotta keep them separated.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Was music better in the 90s, or are we just that old?
No, it was better.
I think it was better.
Do you listen to music? This is the oldest fart thing that we're ever going to talk about on the show. But do you listen to music now, and it just sounds like they're talking in half words?
Yeah. Well, do you know that the people who sing with that weird cadence that doesn't exist outside of singing pop songs, you know what they call that now? Singing in cursive.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yes, it's got a name.
It's like, and they're usually like indie pop people.
I don't know exactly how to define it, but when you hear it, you go, okay, that makes sense.
Does the word bruh fit in that?
Is that in songs? Bruh?
Oh,
I don't know. It's not a word.
I don't know that that's in songs.
It's not even bro. Hey, bro. No, bro.
Well,
it's not a word. It's a sound. It's a releasing of noise.
No, I agree with you. I just think that's probably, I think that's becoming passe.
What?
Bruh. I think bruh is on the way out.
You're in tune with the cool kids and bruh is on the way out?
Some might say.
Bruh is not on the way out.
It's being replaced with passe?
I don't know if, no, passe is never gone. Passe is always around.
People, the higher your frequency of the word bruh, the lower the frequency or likelihood of you understanding the word passe.
or putting an accent mark over the second E.
Passe.
Yeah. If you're going to spell it properly, which I do. Singing in cursive. Look it up.
No, I'm mad at it. Not having it.
You know what, though? I do think there's a lot of truth to...
You haven't had your child call you bro yet, have you?
I think I've heard him say it. He's just entering. He's 9, so he's just entering into that age.
Yeah, but when he walks in and you do something he doesn't like, and he's like, bruh.
No. He has not done that. And if he does, I'm calling him out.
My husband cannot stand it because he teaches middle school.
I love
I'm
it.
sure.
So every once in a while, he'll come in and we'll be doing something and he'll say something. I'm like, no, not you. They don't get you. You have to stay on this side of the vocabulary divide.
You're saying dad does. Okay.
Dad.
Yeah. Okay.
Father. You don't get to talk like them because then I'm alone.
Yeah, don't let him cross over. It's not okay. You guys are a team.
But he still does it every once in a while, and I don't ever know if it slips. But you know how it is to be around kids like that, and then you throw a word out that in front of your students, I would assume, just so they can hear you acknowledge the existence of whatever crap it is they're saying. And you're like, Mr. Frey! Oh.
My wife now uses the word cringe more than she used to because she's around it. She teaches middle school and high school kids.
That's a new word.
Cringe? No, it's not new, but they use it. They still use that word.
What words do we use in our profession? Swamp. What is our vocabulary? How do we talk here?
There's so
that when
many
we go
words.
out into the wild and we use our professional speak, our day job language in the wild. What words are we saying that people are like, we don't talk like that?
Well, I can tell you one because I noticed that my son picked it up and started using it, and I'm like, I don't even know if you're using that right. I don't know if I was using it right. It's the word wonky. That's a political term. Yeah, it's if you're getting too into the weeds, they say you're getting wonky. That's a political term.
No, wonky is what you have when you need to put sugar packets under the fourth leg of the table. The table is wonky.
No, I don't know, maybe.
There's nothing political about it. It's not to say that it couldn't be used in politics, but it's not a political word.
Oh, I think it originated in politics.
Man.
With Paul Ryan. They called him wonky.
Well, that's
They'd
because
say,
he
hey,
is wonky.
he's very
that doesn't
wonky.
mean that he...
Dictionary.com, wonky.
All right.
Crooked, off-center, askew.
Like a screwed up table.
Of a thing. Unsteady, shaky. Not functioning correctly.
But there's a picture of Paul Ryan right there.
Shut up. That's not a political word.
Well,
in any
that's
way,
where
shape, or form.
That's where I first heard it. And now my son is using it apparently correctly.
Is he like, man, these cuts to Social Security are looking a little wonky to me?
That's exactly what he said.
Well, they could be unstable.
And I was like, dude, are you sure about your positions? Because I don't really believe that. And we had a long discussion. We get into it. He's 9.
Are there political words we use that other people don't get?
There have to be, but I can't think of them right now.
Because we use them all the time and we get them.
Wonky is not a political word.
I can't come up with any other ones, though.
New York Post. This is where we are. You know, in the timeline of what the hell is going on in this country, you are here. People in Japan who have become accustomed to wearing a face mask have turned to the help of a professional to learn to smile again.
Oh, are you kidding me? We're so rich.
After the this is Japanese. After the Japanese government lifted its recommendation to wear masks for COVID prevention in March, many residents seemingly learned they'd forgotten how to execute the facial expression.
Oh my gosh. They did wear masks a lot longer than we did, though.
According to one of these teachers, people have not been raising their cheeks under a mask to try to smile much. Smile education is what it's called. Now they're at a loss. Lessons to perfect a perfect grin come at a cost. How much just one session? You haven't smiled in a long time, and this is almost priceless. Smiling's my favorite.
They're paying me.
Look, I just made you smile. I didn't even charge.
I didn't smile.
Yes, you were smiling right now.
I am not.
Ear, you're happy to be here.
No, I am not. I hate this.
Your bill is in the mail. How much?
You can pay me $20 and I might sit through it.
I'm not paying you anything.
Because I am not showing up for that thing.
How much, Brad? One session.
Well, I'm trying to think of what I've paid for tickets to go to the Funny Bone because that's essentially the same thing. Just smile and laugh.
Yeah, just go to a comedy club.
Yeah, but what if you're in there and it's so funny and you're like, I don't know what to do.
I can't react.
My
This
face
is so
is not the
funny.
way
He's
it is
doing
right
such
now.
a good thing,
Oh,
and
I'm
I
so
can't show
panicking.
him.
Oh, man, that was a good joke.
Imagine, I mean, I can't want to see what Jim. Okay, Beavis.
That's not Beavis. I don't know what it is. It's a new character. It's a non-smiling guy who thinks stuff's funny.
How much? A one-on-one session to teach people how to fire up old cheek muscles and deliver a dazzling Hollywood smile.
Here's how much I would charge.
Per hour?
I'd charge $1,000 an hour because if people are willing to do it,
It just takes one.
I say it's
and you have a good day.
try and set for the week. I would say it's $100 an hour.
$55 per one-on-one session. I don't know how long it is. Quote, I hadn't used my facial muscles much during COVID, according to Yoshida, a 20-year-old student of Kiwanis, explained to Reuters, adding that she's taking the course at the recommendation of her school to prepare for the job market. Can you imagine? This is happening in Japan. Can you imagine in the United States having someone especially go to a female and be like, I don't think you smile enough to be hired.
let me send you to a coach.
I wish Hannah were here right now. Everybody's going to women and saying, you need to smile more. That's just not ever a good starter.
What
Don't
does
do
that session look like? I mean, what do you do for an hour? Hey, you look like you're frowning. You know what you need to do?
If this person does virtual
you need to turn
sessions,
that upside down.
I will pay $55 for you to seriously take one of these classes.
We need to just do a full hour of the show with one. With no commercial
Our
breaks.
ratings would go through the roof.
Blow it all out. We're just doing a full smile session for an hour.
Kawano teaches the Hollywood-style smiling technique, which teaches how to achieve crescent eyes and round cheeks, plus learning to shape the edges of the mouth to show 8 upper teeth.
She'd have to coach me. I think I show about 20.
Count my teeth. You got to count them out loud.
Yeah, let me look at the screen. 1, 2. Oh, no, you don't. Stop turning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh, I'm too happy.
Or 10. I couldn't quite tell.
I'm missing that tooth.
Is her smile crooked?
That's the one in the front.
I don't count the gold one. That one I count as pure profit. Cha-ching.
She said there has been a, quote, 4-fold increase in demand for lessons past COVID. One of the exercises instructs students to hold up mirrors to their faces and stretch the sides of their mouth with their fingers to get used to the feeling.
Oh, my gosh.
It's like Joker stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, if you just do like the Heath Ledger version of the Joker, you just cut it open.
Culturally, a smile signifies that I'm not holding a gun and I'm not a threat to you.
Wait, what?
That's what it's.
The whole purpose of it is to make people relax.
She explained
that they're
to
not
Reuters,
being robbed.
There's a bunch of people in St. Louis and Chicago like, oh, we got to try this. She explained to Reuters, adding that an influx of international tourists could mean learning how to communicate again with using facial expressions. Here, look, check out this picture right here. Look at that lady.
That's a cartoon. Oh, there's a real lady
look
next
at her.
to it.
She looks happy. That makes me want to smile.
She holding her breath?
She looks like she's trying to do a puffer fish.
Probably not really why she wants me to smile, but I think it's pretty funny.
That, you know what criminals are going to start doing now? You know this is where it's going to go.
They're going to be walking around like that, and you're like, oh, that's a criminal.
They're going to see her online. They're going to get training so that they can know how to smile while robbing people, thereby putting them at ease, and they don't even know they're being robbed.
In May, public broadcaster NHK conducted a poll that said 55% of Japanese people are still wearing masks as often as they were when the government guidance was in place, with just 8% not wearing a mask anymore.
That doesn't surprise me. A good friend of mine, he's American. He's married to a Japanese girl. They split time kind of back and forth. They're there right now and have been for a couple of years. And he said since COVID, they left pretty much 2021, pretty much during it. He said since then, even now, he has to be rebellious on trains and things.
Like he knows that he's making an active public decision.
Yes. And he takes off his mask. And he said it's strange because people, they almost look at him like, well, you're doing it, and I kind of appreciate you're doing it, but you're also breaking rules, so it makes me uncomfortable. And you're an American, so I don't know how to respond to that.
We talked about this a lot on the show, and the rule that I ended up having for myself in public places, regardless of whether a mask was said to be required or not, was I would bring a mask with me and I would go about my business. And I can't remember now, but if I was asked to put a mask on, it might have been one time. And you'd walk around. We would pay attention when we walked around the stores. We would mind our own business, in there to shop and get out, not wearing a mask, having the mask with us. So if we were asked to comply, we would. And we would see people, if we were if we were going to be in a store for maybe 30 minutes or stuff, we would see people who were wearing masks in like aisles 2 and 3 come passing them again in 8 and 9. They weren't wearing, they'd pull them down. They weren't wearing them anymore. I don't know if it had anything to do with us, but you could, and there would be people who would see you and acknowledge like, yes.
Mm-hmm. It was such a sign of compliance. It didn't really have anything to do with anything else.
I don't know that it's just a sign of compliance. I think it's a sign of good people with goodwill that don't want to upset people. You wear a mask out of kindness and deference to other people because it makes other people feel safer. But to what end? If you were to go to your loved one's house and your loved one was suffering from cancer, and before COVID, if you would have gone over to visit that person and they said, she's very susceptible to anything, and we're so glad you're here, but would you mind wearing this mask? You wouldn't think twice about wearing a mask to visit that person. You would not say to that loved one, I'm not putting a mask on in this house, and if you are requiring me to do this, I am not coming in. You would do that because you're a good person and you care. You didn't do it because you were saving the world.
Yeah, you did it in the moment.
Big difference. People do have kindness in their hearts. And when you're going to Walmart or if you're going into Ruler Foods and you're shopping and they're generally saying, put your mask on, at some point you realize this is not what this is about anymore. And if somebody says to you, will you please put your mask on? Then you get to decide, I'm going to be done shopping here. Thank you. And you leave. Or you put it on and you finish your business, or you say no and then you get into an altercation. Most vast majority of people don't want that altercation.
Right. The interesting thing about Japan, like you said, is that even pre-COVID, now this was so new for America, we had never seen anything like that. Nobody wore masks anywhere. But if you were sick in Japan pre-COVID, it was actually pretty common to wear a mask. So I think they adopted them quicker, and it's taking them longer to get away from them. I looked at a picture the other day, though, of kids running around. I think my son was probably 6 or 7 at the time. Running around playing soccer. They're all wearing masks.
We went to Disney World 7 days after it reopened. That was just when we had our summer vacation scheduled, and we just were watching every time they would extend the closure or whatever. They announced they were opening up. We were going to get to go. I think we were in Magic Kingdom 7 days after they reopened. And everywhere you went, you had to have your mask on. We had masks on roller coasters. We had masks on out in the open, and you couldn't even see anybody. If you brought that mask down, a cast member would pop out and be like, can you put your mask on, please? And then they'd go back in, and it was like, you got to
I didn't know you existed.
But a whole vacation worth of photos, masked.
Same here.
It's bizarre.
Yeah,
it's
we did the same
bizarre.
thing.
And I'm not doing it again.
Nope. I think the majority of America knows now, you know what? That wasn't a health thing. That was a social thing.
And it totally screwed up your smile. So on the break, we're going to have you practice on the YouTube Live.
As long as you're paying.
Yeah, absolutely. Brad's going to show Ryan on the break here how to smile. Stick around. Results of the YouTube live chat poll today. Which phone do you use, Apple or Android, or maybe you use neither? Go to the Any Fry YouTube channel and leave your vote there. And when we come back, I'm going to tell you the 12 worst foods to order at a business dinner.
Sweet.
See how many of these Ryan...
I can already tell you probably 10 or 11.
You do?
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll get to that when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
Separated.
The Diamond Shop, located in Clayton, has been serving St. Louis since 1910. And when you go to the Diamond Shop, you have a generational level of experience that helps you make the purchase that you've been looking for, the investment that you want to make. And I can't stress enough how they have a whole wide array of different budgets to fit. So if you're looking for something nice for Father's Day, you go into the Diamond Shop. They're going to have something there for you. I bought my husband a tie chain. I don't think it was Father's Day. I think it was for our anniversary. And I wasn't sure what I was looking for when I went in. I thought I was looking for a tie tack. And so that's what I went in there and told him. And they said, you know what? Most people these days aren't putting the tack through their tie anymore. It puts a hole in the silk tie. People are using these tie restraints, these tie chains. And they help make one for my husband. It's very precious to us. And it was a gift from me to him, and I put my faith and trust into the hands of the folks at the Diamond Shop to help guide me along that way. It fit my budget. It was a great gift. If you're looking for something special for somebody this weekend, especially like a watch or a piece of jewelry, go to the Diamond Shop and tell them Annie sent you. Online at thediamondshop.net.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Hi, this is Arnold, owner of the Good Feet store. Have you been suffering with foot pain, knee pain, low back pain, or plantar fasciitis? You may be thinking there's no way that something as simple as the Good Feet store can help you.
My feet would just ache, my back, my ankles. I finally said, I'm going to do this. And I'll be darned if it didn't work. I feel a million times better than I ever did.
No shots, no surgery, no medication.
Call 314-317-9494 or visit one of our 2 locations on Olive west of I-270 in the plaza with Subway or in Shiloh, Illinois across from Deerberg's.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
Individual results may vary. Consult your physician for medical conditions. Visit the website goodfeetstlewis.com. Good Feet arch supports fit in all your own shoes. Come to the Good Feet store for a free test walk today. You can try it before you buy it.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, Bernie Federico here. Over the years, you've heard me talk about lakeside renovation and design. My friends Matt and Dan have been in the business for over 25 years and have done everything on my home, from James Hardy siding, Infinity from Marvin Windows, and even a couple of room additions. These guys are great, and you can trust them with your home. Check out their website to see for yourself all the beautiful work they've done. You can find them online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com. Be sure to ask about their unbelievable financing options. Lakeside Renovation and Design.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together millions of things for our planet. Cut up 6-pack rings and reduce your use of plastic to keep it out of waterways and oceans. When we each share our one thing, it becomes a million things for our planet. What's your one thing?
There's still time to get in on the poll today. Which phone do you use, Apple or Android? This is a poll we really want to know. Which one are you? We want to know all of them, fine. But this one, we're going to write a report on at the end of the show and publish it. The time is 2:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Chris Frey, former infantry sergeant in the U.S. Army.
Oh, Ron DeSantis is banning books. Name the book you can't buy in Florida.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
All around the world, statues crumble for me. Who knows how long I've loved you? Everywhere I go, people stop and they say, 25 years old, my mother, God rest her soul.
So how often do you go on business dinner excursions, Ryan?
It's pretty much all you do in the industry.
Shut up.
You just have meetings all day with people with full ponytails.
Why aren't you in the TV industry?
I failed.
Ryan.
Oh, man.
You didn't fail.
I didn't succeed enough that I made it. I mean, we did pretty good, but it's so hard to exist for the 4 years that we did as an independent company is great. I think going into it, if we would have known even that, we would have been surprised and happy. But unless you sell a major show, it is so hard to make it.
12 worst foods to order at a business dinner. I want to know between the two of you gentlemen if you agree or if you think this is not accurate.
Okay.
Steer clear of garlic-packed dishes.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't, but I do agree with that.
You don't what?
I don't steer clear of them. I love garlic.
So wait a second. You know it's a bad idea and you do it anyway.
Yeah, I think unless I was with people I really was trying to impress.
No,
I don't care.
let's say you're going to a meal with 8 people and half of them are your coworkers that you see every day and half of them are maybe in from Odyssey in Kansas City or maybe even some corporate types.
Oh yeah, I'm ordering garlic all day.
2, don't order things you have to eat with your hands. There's a picture of some ribs here. Fried chicken.
I just generally don't do that anyway, but it's not because of mixed company.
Ryan has a lot of
rules and
clarifications.
Yeah, I can see that with like really saucy things, chicken wings, ribs, stuff like that. But like,
yeah, down in some chicken wings with mango habanero all over them.
But what about a sandwich, a club sandwich, or a burger or something like that? I don't.
That's a good point.
I disagree.
You got
with
to touch
that
a burger.
Even if, number 3, even if you love them, avoid spicy foods. Like handheld foods and foods packed with garlic, there's much to love about meals that pack a lot of heat. Old school Mexican smothered burritos and enchiladas, buffalo coated anything, decadent southern hot chicken sandwiches. There are so many different incredible spicy flavors out there to enjoy, but no matter how much you love some heat in your meals, it's always a bad idea to explore these foods when you're on the clock. The problems with spicy foods isn't the foods themselves, but what they do to you when you eat them. You might get that fiery burning sensation in your mouth that leaves you gulping water. You may tear up. Your face can turn red. Perhaps you'll break out in a total flop sweat.
Nah, I disagree. You better believe I'm ordering me a buffalo chicken Sammy with some network execs.
With garlic?
With garlic on top.
I disagree as well. I like spicy food. I like it a lot, but I never order anything that is so spicy that it's ever made me sweat or gulp water.
Oh, man. Just real quick story. One time at Buffalo Wild,
Buffalo Wild Wings.
I ordered
Buffalo Wild?
I think it was Caribbean jerk. And I ordered a full plate of them. And I laughed real hard at something my friend said while I was eating one. And it got up in my sinuses. And I mean, I couldn't stop crying. And I got home and I sneezed that thing out.
Oh, God, Ryan. Oh,
and I took a picture of it next to a penny.
no, Ryan. God dang it. Stop it.
I could not stop crying. That thing was so hot. It was just caught.
You're making Annie cry.
I'm going to vomit.
Anyway, so as you can see, I don't really have a lot of rules as far as dinners go.
So don't do a line of Caribbean jerk.
Yes, that's the point. That's the point of what I'm saying. This is a cautionary tale.
Don't
Annie.
ever, ever, ever tell that story again. Ever.
We'll see. I don't need to tell it again. It's been told now.
Yeah, it's going to burn in my memory. Next one, never order something that stinks.
Yes.
Cheese is something nearly everyone loves. So it's talking about stinky cheese. Think salads and sandwiches made with blue cheese, Limburger, raclette, among other ones. It can linger in the air on your breath, and it will likely create an unpleasant dining experience for anybody you happen to be dining with.
Yeah. Disagree. I'll order a cheese plate anytime.
I agree with that one.
Don't embarrass yourself by ordering things you can't pronounce, Ryan.
Yeah, maybe. I usually will ask the waiter, though. I just had a meat in Kentucky it was spelled Goetta. And I asked the waitress, how do you pronounce, is this Goetta? And she said, no, that's Geta. And I'm like, what is Geta? She said, that's a regional meat we have here in Kentucky. So I ordered it.
Sounds
I wasn't
sketch.
with business
Sounds
associates,
super
though.
sketch.
Yeah, it was good. It was like sausage with steel-cut oats in it.
It's a regional meat.
Yeah, that's what she said. It was a diner.
What kind of regional meat?
I like I'm applying the rules at a diner with my family in Kentucky to business meetings. But I am.
I'm Googling it. I see nothing. How do you spell it?
Goetta. Geta.
Food.
Yes. And when I ordered it, I said...
German breakfast sausage
Yeah.
that blends the textures and flavors of pork, beef, whole grain, steel-cut oats, and fresh onions.
I didn't taste any onions in there, but yes.
Your discerning palate?
Mm-hmm. My palate did not detect onion.
Yeah.
And my wife said, oh, that's probably like scrapple. I'm like, what's that?
Next one, avoid anything deep fried.
Nah.
No.
Deep fried foods tend to be messy. They are often accompanied by greasy coatings or batters that can leave residue on fingers, utensils, and even coating. Not a good look when you're trying to make a good impression.
No, I disagree.
I disagree with almost all of these.
I know you do. I agree with all of them so far. Let's see. Next one. Never get the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yes. I agree.
Okay, I agree with that. Especially if you're not paying.
Don't make a lot of unnecessary modifications.
I'm probably going to take off the peppers and the onions on a lot of things. And they're just going to have to
order
deal with
something
that.
without peppers and
That's
onions.
usually what I'll do. If there's a lot of modifications, I won't do it.
Show some creativity. Don't be too boring.
I agree with that.
Oh, I don't know. Sometimes you feel like a burger and fries.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
I feel like I was just going to say after that last one that this is basically telling you to order the chef salad.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not a lot of... There's not like you can order.
And then they're like, once you've come down to find the most boring and acceptable thing, they say, show some creativity. Don't be too boring.
Right, yeah.
I don't know about that. Skip foods that require potentially awkward sharing. You ever been in a group meeting or group meeting situation where you're eating or whatever, and there's some like appetizers that get ordered? I know how both of you guys are handling this, but if there's appetizers that are ordered, they're put on the table. What happens next, Ryan?
I usually grab one or two, and then everybody else looks and says, "Oh, he did it. Now I could do it."
It's a service.
That's how I feel about it as well.
Yes,
I'll take one.
Yes, you
now
both
it's
are,
okay to get it.
You guys are both definitely those guys.
Yeah.
Just say no to tasting menus. The problem in this case isn't so much the food itself. It's the fact that both tasting menus and food flights can require a lot of extra interaction with the restaurant's wait staff. Tasting menus? What are you doing over there?
I'm typing in the YouTube results just so I can be ready.
You're typing in the YouTube results?
I'm pulling them up.
Can you do the rest of the show here with me before
I can
we wrap it
try.
up?
I can try. This isn't my normal role. Hannah's not here.
Tasting menus.
I like tasting menus quite a bit. I like small plates.
You're doing that anyway.
Yeah.
So that you can have long conversations with the server. And how do you pronounce this?
I'm doing all the other things, so why not that one?
Don't get anything that's too tough to chew. And it has pictures of corn on the cob. If you're in a group mixed company setting, you getting some corn on the cob?
I can get on board with that. Corn on the cob in a business meeting. Give me like 4 of those.
There's a very, very, very prominent broadcaster that has served many, many years wonderfully in the city of St. Louis, who everybody here would know, who used to eat corn on the cob in meetings at the boardroom table.
I love this. I cannot wait for you to tell me.
Yeah. I mean, it's like nobody's eating. It's
not even a lunch meeting.
It's like a 10 a.m. sales meeting. And he gets the Tupperware out and the corn on the cob. And I mean, I swear, I was sitting there and I turned on, I'm like, that looks pretty good.
You can't deny that it's good.
And when you're that big of a deal and you want corn on the cob, you just eat corn on the cob.
Right.
YouTube live chat poll?
YouTube live chat poll is pulling up right now. It is which phone do you use, Apple or Android? The results are more surprising.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Apple 41%, Android 57%, and neither is 2%. Who are you?
Yeah, what do you use?
What are you doing? How
a
are
flip phone, maybe?
Maybe. All right, well, Android, a pro Android crowd here, but not super much. I still think that you could divide political leans one way or the other. Thanks for participating in the poll today. We appreciate that. When we get back tomorrow, Hannah will be back with us. But next up right here on 97.1 FM Talk, The Mark Reardon Show. Do not go anywhere.
I'm not America's sweetheart. So beat the
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover